conversation. 504-341-8255. The New Orleans Talk Network.
Hi, I'm Sheriff Joe Lapinto, and you are watching the New Orleans Talk Network.
Yo, man, it's Fred. Listen, don't forget to like and subscribe to our New Orleans Talk Network page on. Keep going. What's up, everybody? This is your boy Fred. Listen, don't forget to like our page on YouTube, FanView, Facebook, FanView, and on Twitter, FanView New Orleans.
Holla at you, man, in the app with us, and we gonna make this thing on the pop with New Orleans Talk Network. With real fans talk about real sports. And not only sports, everyday activity and life, man.
My name is Jaquan Jackson, SMU commit, and you tune into FanView.
Yo, what's up? It's Poola Williams, 2017 Mr. Football. You are now tuned into FanView Live on New Orleans Talk Network.
This is Congressman Cedric Richmond, and you're watching the New Orleans Talk Network.
FanView Live, where real fans talk about real sports, only on the New Orleans Talk Network. Like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, because we're not just a sports talk show, we're a talk show about sports.
Hi, I'm Sheriff Joe Lapinto, and you are watching the New Orleans Talk Network.
Well, welcome everybody. Welcome. Welcome to FanView Live. This is your boy Fred. GSportz in the building. Man, listen, we got a lot to discuss. We got another epic Thursday from everybody. A lot has happened since past Thursday. My man Coach Hurricane here, he got some district meetings. He couldn't be with us tonight. But listen, for 2 hours, tag a friend, add a friend. Listen, y'all hit the subscribe page to our new FanView Live page on Facebook. Subscribe to us on YouTube, FanView Live. Subscribe to us on FanView NOLA on Twitter. Also subscribe to us on FanView Live on Instagram. And don't forget to follow my man, GSportz. You're trying to get the updates going on. Right now, it's high school playoffs. And we got some big time news we got to talk about too. Yeah. That came out right out of Destrehan. Some big time news. But y'all know what I like to do before we get started. I always give a shout and salute to the armed forces, the Army, the Navy, the Marines, Air Force, first responders, Coast Guard, local police department, local fire department. Shout out to salute to you guys from the bottom of our hearts. If nobody gives y'all a shout and salute, FanView Live will do it each and every Thursday when we do this show. Appreciate y'all so much. It's time to get into these sports. We're going to open up the show like this, y'all. Everybody witnessed what happened Sunday. Mm-hmm. Everybody know what that is. That who that was facing that who they. That's what they call themselves up there in Cincinnati. Right. Who they. And we went up there and put a who that on that ass. Mm-hmm. 51-14. All the Saints, Superbowl, bound. GSportz. Does it look like the Saints? 8-1. Do you see Superbowl on the horizon? All the Saints looking like they're Superbowl bound.
I mean, I'm going to sound biased. You're damn right we look Superbowl bound. You mean? Man, we beat these people 51-14. We 50-piece these people, man. We got a 50-piece for man choosing these people on Sunday.
On Sunday.
It looked like, we was men amongst boys on Sunday, man.
Facts.
I knew we was going to win the game. I didn't think it was going to be
like
that
kind
of convincing fashion. I thought the weather was going to be an issue. It was 23 degrees.
Didn't matter.
I thought the cold weather was going to mess with us a little bit, but I still thought we was going to find a way to win.
Right.
I had no idea the Saints were going to come out hitting on all cylinders like they did. 10 possessions, we scored 10 times. Morstead, you had the night off. You didn't even have to punt the ball. I saw a picture of you in the locker room sleep. Well deserved.
Over there playing Candy Crush.
Yeah. Just the way we went about our business on Sunday. Mm-hmm. The reason why I feel so confident about what the Saints doing right now, if you go back and look at the history of the Saints, even when Sean Payton been there, the games that we were underdogs in a primetime games, we come to play. We win them kind of games. But the games that we're supposed to win, the people that we're supposed to blow out,
we normally lay down.
We normally lose or we struggle with them.
Yeah.
Like we did with the Browns early in this season.
Yeah.
We put all the doubters to rest on Sunday. We came out and made the Bengals looked like a shell of themselves. Very impressed how we ran the ball, threw the ball. Very impressed with the defense. After giving up the first possession, we gave up that touchdown. We was locked down the rest of the game.
Against the game.
And then they got a little
the touchdown to John Ross.
They got a little fluke score toward the end of the game
with
Driscoll on a zone read. But for the most part, our defense played great. I like how Dennis Allen mixed it up, sending pressure. You know, that's what I was talking about last week. I wanted to see Dennis Allen send more pressure, especially if you're going to get somebody like Andy Dalton, who is a poor decision maker. Wanted to see us mix it up, bring a little safety blitz, bring corner blitzes, send a little 5-man pressure, show blitz. Now why you gonna
disrespect Andy Dalton like this?
Man, Andy Dalton stealing money from the league. You know, but I was very impressed with how Dennis Allen went about his business. We got a lot of consistent pressure throughout the day, and that gave Andy Dalton a lot of problems being able to find people down the field. Tyler Boyd, John Ross, Joe Mixon couldn't get going because they got down so early. So it was just a great game all around the board. Cam Jordan, I mean, what can I say about him? Cam Jordan, Mr. Consistent, Mr. Reliable.
Mr. Durable.
Man, I mean, he had to get durable man of the year. I mean, bro, all the pounding and the wear and tear he got on his body, this guy comes to play every Sunday, consistent pressure, he's getting chipped, he's getting double teamed. Cam Jordan is the heart and soul of that defense and the heart and soul of that D-line all day and tomorrow. He doesn't take a play off and is infectious on the rest of the D-line. Sheldon Rankins continues to emerge and become one of the better D tackles in the league. He is bull rushing people all the way to the quarterback. This is the third week in a row I've seen him do it.
Yeah.
Sheldon Rankins looking like he's trying to become a Pro Bowl type of player. I like the way he's playing. Okafor played a good game.
Yeah.
Look like he's getting back in the mix.
Yeah.
How he looked last year before he got hurt.
He looking at that Bobby McCray, that speed rusher kind of type player in the defense.
Yeah. I like how Anzalone looked. I like how Dennis Allen sent him a lot on the blitz. DeMario Davis, man, you continue to earn your paycheck.
Each and every week.
This kid is so athletic, it ain't even funny. It was a play in the game one time. They threw a swing pass. I think it was to Joe Mixon, and to see DeMario Davis get sideline to sideline like that and make that play. That's the kind of play we need from our linebackers.
Correct.
Because now on film, you see your linebackers being able to move sideline to sideline like that. It kind of makes you leery about how you gonna call plays.
How you gonna call plays?
And then Anzalone flying all over the place. Craig Robinson playing good, and then on the back end, Eli Apple got his first interception as a New Orleans Saint. Marcus Williams being the ball hawk that he is, and I keep telling y'all, man, y'all keep talking about Marcus Williams and talking about he messing up. He gonna have some bad plays, but for the most part, Marcus Williams is having a good year. Even though I think he should have scored that touchdown.
He getting like Marshawn Lattimore. You're getting back.
He should have got the
in the end zone.
He should have got the pick six.
Run out of gas, man.
Yeah, we gotta learn to capitalize when we get these interceptions, especially when you one-on-one with the quarterback. I mean, that's one-on bump. You gotta make it happen.
Make it happen.
You know, no excuses, just results. Okay, but all in all, man, just very impressed with the Saints how they won that game. You don't see NFL teams lose games like that. 51-14, and Sean Payton, you did a good job having his team prepared.
Facts.
You got their defensive coordinator fired. He's been with Marvin Lewis since he got there. He got him fired on Monday.
They fired the wrong guy.
I mean,
you see my video.
How you gonna sit there and say that?
Marvin Lewis been the head coach for 15 years, didn't win a playoff game, and this defense is atrocious. Marvin Lewis is a defensive guy.
But he's not calling the plays. Look, the Saints had 10 possessions, and they scored all 10 times. That's unacceptable.
Marvin Lewis is unacceptable. They should boycott the game.
Marvin Lewis not calling the plays. He's probably going to take over the duties of the play calling on defense now. Okay? The Saints accounted for 509 total yards. I mean, bro, once again, like I always say every week, what makes the Saints so hard to stop? On third down. We were 7 for 12 on third down. That's the money down, baby. That's when the rent due. And we come to play on third down.
Rent was due. Can't pay up.
1 for 1 on 4 downs. I need to go back and look and see what the stats is of our percentage on 4 down.
I know it was 4 for 5 against the Rams. They 1 for 1 against the Bengals.
No, we converted every 4 down against the Rams.
No, they missed the one.
You sure?
The one with Kamara, when Taysom Hill had the little flea flicker and he bounced it off the head. It was 4th and 1.
You sure that was 4th and 1?
I'm positive it's 4th and 1.
I might be right.
It was
You might be
4 and 5.
You might be right. But my point is, when we got to make a play,
they making plays.
Sean Payton is dialing the right plays. He's putting these defenses in compromising positions, and we getting it done in the clutch when we got to do it. On the money down, we are hitting it every time. And that's very impressive. That's encouraging going into the latter half of the season because when you start, this is about to be playoff type of atmosphere football we about to go in. And you need to know on third downs, we can rely on Sean Payton to call the right play, and Drew Brees going to execute it. And what's more impressive, we ran the ball. 244 yards, 5.2 yards a carry. The next impressive thing that I thought was very, very fantastic by the Saints. We only accounted for one penalty throughout the whole game.
That's a stat that went unnoticed.
That's a stat that went unnoticed because that lets me know that your team is locked in. That lets me know that we are a disciplined football team. And that lets me know that you are a team that could get to the Super Bowl because we're not going to bite ourselves in the foot.
You're not going to beat yourself.
We're not going to beat ourselves. And that's what was most impressive about the Saints right now. We're playing disciplined football. We look locked in. We're not taking nobody for granted. When we got our foot on their throat, we're stomping on it. We're keeping our foot on the gas. Sean Payton is finding different ways every week to keep motivating us. And I'm telling y'all right now, bro, Brandon Marshall then came on to the team now.
Yeah. Last week they had a lot of X's in the end zone.
Yeah, that was a hell of a tribute by the whole New Orleans Saints team that showed
a lot of X's.
The dads right there. Brandon Marshall coming into the fold. Kirkwood, we brought him up from the practice squad. I think he's gonna be a good addition to the Saints. And Teddy Ginn will be coming back. Sean Payton announced it. So when we get Teddy Ginn back, I think they say he's probably gonna come back around week 14.
Stretch the field again.
He gonna stretch the field. Brandon Marshall and I think Drew Brees gonna get that chemistry going. I think, bro, the sky's the limit for the team. And it was scary. We're not even playing our best football right now. So just be thankful of Mickey Loomis. Keep making moves to get our team better because we could have just been like, look, you know what? We just gonna go with what we got. Pick up Kirkwood from the practice squad and just go out. No, Mickey Loomis say, all right, Dez, you got hurt. Yeah. Come on, Brandon Marshall, let's go.
They like the way he worked it out. They just signed Dez. They love Brandon Marshall workout.
And I think Brandon Marshall gonna be a key contributor to our team. We got Eli Apple. That's letting me know that Sean Payton and Mickey Loomis, we not thinking about the future. We trying to win right now. We trying to win. And you know Drew Brees, Father Time is undefeated and it's about to catch up with him sooner or later. Even though he's playing at a high level,
it don't look like it.
We gotta get it done this year. And the way we looking, I'm telling y'all, ain't nobody in the NFL looking better than the Saints right now. Nobody swagging better than the Saints. Nobody got more confidence than the Saints. And I think top to bottom, we have the best team in the league. And don't talk about when Marcus Davenport and Teddy Ginn come back. We're going to be a force to be reckoned with. Y'all better watch out, man. And we play the Eagles on the Dome Sunday. It's going to be loud.
Willie Garrison, he praising you right now. He clapping. Are the Saints Super Bowl bound you? That's the question that we put for everybody. Listen, here's my take on this. Listen, bro. When you come out there in Cincinnati on the road, I don't care how you want to put it, it's a road game. And you drop 51 points on the road. People say, it's the big. It don't matter. It's the National Football League, G. Mm-hmm. You're on the road. You went out there and you scored every possession possible out there. You need to understand, Alvin Kamara is coming along big. Alvin Kamara had his 28th touchdown in his NFL career. The guy's going to play 25 career games. 28th career touchdown in this game here, which was big because Alvin Kamara now is the second leading player under Todd Gurley for touchdowns. Big deal going into the second half of the season. Mike Thomas is tied for receptions with him and Adam Thielen. It's a big deal going into the second half of the season. And Drew Brees. What else can we say? Drew Brees is averaging 77% completion percentage. Y'all act like y'all seen this before. We've never watched this. The record is 72 people. Drew Brees is at 77. We've never witnessed it before. But you know what the problem is? We are so used to seeing Drew Brees complete 70% of his passes on a regular basis that it's starting to look normal, G. Not realizing we're truly witnessing greatness right now.
Oh, greatness is upon us.
It's upon us. But it looks so normal to everybody that we think that it's not all that. It is greatness in what we're watching in number 9 and how he distributing the football in the arsenal that he's having. And he's doing, Kirkwood is the rookie receiver that came off in the practice squad. Had the longest play of the game, the 40-yard pass that Drew Brees threw to him. Listen, y'all, this team is like that. They're like that. And yes, to me, pending any significant major injury out at the quarterback position or at a skill position, this team is arguably Super Bowl bound to me. And that's what. Right now, with guys like Jermon Bushrod, who I know was going through a lot of things off the field, didn't have any played a very good game against that defensive line. Because the Bengals, if they're good anywhere, they have a decent defensive line. Handle the business there. The Saints arguably have one of the best offensive lines in football. Yeah. With Teron Armstead being here and Ryan Ramczyk and Pete, it's definitely an all-pro caliber left guard.
And a young offensive line.
A young offensive line. Larry Warfel can bullet somebody, and we're not even going to talk about that guy in the middle at the center position. Max Unger.
Graded veteran.
Graded veteran. You already know what he can do at that position. The Saints have arguably one of the best offensive lines in the game. Obviously, one of the best scorers in the game in Alvin Kamara. Mike Thomas, arguably one of the best pass catchers in the game because you know going to have the most receiving yards, have the most catches. And that man, number 9, is, listen, this team is posed to be Super Bowl bound to me. What they did in Cincinnati wasn't a fluke. And to me, Marvin Lewis still need to be fired.
Now, they still got a winning record. They still got a winning record. They 5-4. That's just how good the Saints is. I mean, when we play the Ravens came into the game with the #1 defense, and the Ravens was, I think they was 4-2.
Yeah.
And the Saints put it on them. I mean, I know we won in dramatic fashion when they missed the extra point, but still, the Saints are finding ways to win no matter who we going against. We win ugly, we win pretty. We blow you out, we win you in a close game. It don't matter. We find a way to win.
I'll share with anybody. I think Jacory Ross said they're going for the gold now. I got to agree with that. Listen, the Saints only lost 1 game this year. And listen, if you can't put up 35 points, you can't beat the Saints. Here's the bearer of bad news.
I'm going to go with 28.
At least.
I'm going to go with 28.
Understanding they lost, they scored 40. The score was 40-48. They scored 40 and they lost. If you can't, listen, the game plan got to be, we got to outscore these people. You can't go into a game plan trying to beat the Saints saying, oh, you know what? This is going to be a 25-24 type game. You're going to lose this game. You got to be willing to score with these people. Understand that. Listen, the people had 35 points at halftime. They had 35 points at halftime against the Rams. Against the Rams, they had 35. You got to be willing to score. If you're not willing to score, you're not going to beat the people. I don't care how good of a defense you are. You can slow them down at best, but you're not stopping the people from scoring at least 30 points, at least 28. You're not about to do it. That can't be your game plan. As great as a defensive team you are, you got to be willing to put up points. Now, week 1 was a lot of communication issues. You know, what Deshaun Jackson getting loose and Mike Evans getting loose, a lot of communications. But since then, they've kind of had some things, worked some things out, been communicating better, and guys are starting to play their role and play their part. This is a tough team to beat. I think defensively, they can hold you to under 25. And if you can't score 30, I see another L coming up. You got the Eagles coming to town. Coming up this week.
Coming off a loss.
To
the Cowgirls.
Yes. You traded for Golden Tate. Don't know how they're going to work in the system yet. And a lot of Eagles players are speaking up.
And Golden Tate has had really good success against the Saints in years past when he was with the Lions.
Yeah, with the Lions.
So we got to be mindful of that.
Let's not be disrespectful about last year when him and Marvin Jones came down here and handled business. He's had success against his team. But guys in that locker room are stepping up saying, listen, man, in the Eagles locker room, we not the same team that we were last year. We had some crafty veterans in here last year that knew their role and want everybody to step up. That's not the case this season. The Philadelphia Eagles are not playing at a Super Bowl caliber, please. They're having what I want to call it a Super Bowl hangover by any means. It is that I tweeted this out there earlier, man. When you got a bad team and everyone's losing, the formula is to go watch tape and go work and get better. Everyone kind of handles losing in a similar way. Winning is a little different.
Right.
Everyone handles winning a little different.
Winning cures everything.
Winning cures everything. Yeah. But when you're losing, everyone has the same mentality when it comes to losing. Man, go watch tape, go watch film, get better. Everyone handles it a little of the same. You know, everyone's, got to know that you got to get better. But when it comes to winning, the Philadelphia Eagles, they won the Super Bowl. How do you handle winning? Everyone handles it a little different. The Patriots handle like they've been here before. Right. Some people handle like, man, look, we won, we're on top of the world, I ain't got to work as hard. Everyone handles it a little different. We're watching how the Eagles handle winning. Not saying that everyone's out celebrating. What I'm saying is that they're going through a slump. And they're coming to New Orleans, and I don't think it's going to be a good idea. They're going to get shellacked to me.
And look, I just want to touch on this, man. I know I harp on this every week about Drew Brees, but we have to really embrace what Drew Brees is doing.
It's greatness. It's greatness.
This is
greatness.
This is iconic.
Iconic. It's greatness, dog.
This is like
it gets no better than this.
Unprecedented what this guy is doing.
Gets no better
22 for 25, 265 yards, 3 touchdowns. He averaged 10 yards a pass.
It's iconic, dog.
The dude is playing out of his damn mind.
We got it.
And he doesn't need to throw the ball 30, 40 yards down the field. He can tell you up intermediate. If you want to bring the safeties up, he will tell you up deep. He can do whatever he wants to do. He will take what the defense give him. I'm just very impressed with Drew. I'm not taking it for granted what he's doing. I'm telling y'all right now, y'all better really, really appreciate what Drew Brees is doing right now because when he's gone, he's gone. And it's hard to find a quarterback of this caliber. A quarterback like this comes around once every 15 years.
Right.
Drew Brees, 5'11", 5'10", 170 pounds soaking wet.
It's great.
Dominating the NFL like this.
It is greatness.
Come on, man. We gotta start appreciating what Drew do. He needs to be talked about more. He needs more commercials. He needs more endorsements. He needs to be on the radio. He needs to be every goddamn way. He needs a billboard when I'm passing down on the spillway. He needs more. He needs to be marketed better.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Like Drew is the goddamn. He's a damn mini goat.
That's it.
He's a damn mini goat.
Now,
He's a damn Billy goat.
Now, Robert Meyer says, what do you guys think about Brandon Marshall? And Marty B says, back-to-back watch. I don't care Marvin Lewis, a black coach. There are only a few in the NFL. Keep him. Bleep that. Yeah. And he also says, Drew is the GOAT. Our running backs and White Uptown. And Mike Thomas balling. Our defense playing lights out. And, at the right time, we going to get that ring. Maybe in the few. And Newton Henry said he's the GOAT. And Jacory Ross said Drew for MVP. Now, with all that being said, my producer got a clip. And we're going to play the clip. And this is what, Chris Sims, who I've been advocate of, this guy needs to be on TV. Yeah. But
he made some bad
predictions.
The way he evaluates is terrible.
It's terrible.
It's terrible. I mean, get him out of here.
Get him out of here. But we're going to play the clip for you guys. And
people right now going, oh, Mahomes is good, but Breeze is the MVP. It's really it's the one thing he doesn't have in his career. He's really earned it at this point. Mahomes is going to have more times. This is not a lifetime achievement award.
Exactly.
Drew Brees is not playing better than Patrick Mahomes. Drew Brees cannot complete half the passes that Patrick Mahomes does. If you watch the game against the Bengals, dump off to Kamara.
Right.
Dump off to Ingram.
Right.
I would argue that probably around 40% of Drew Brees' yards are screens, dump-offs, and slants that get taken to the house.
And Drew Brees is awesome. We're not being haters.
He's great.
But what to me, and I think you're on the right track here, is when you're in the MVP conversation, you are the person that makes the team go.
People are hanging off you and you're throwing
Exactly.
touchdowns.
Mahomes makes the team go. Todd Gurley makes the Rams go.
Yes.
I would argue on the Saints, the O-line and the running back tandem make the team go.
So you would put Andrus Peat in the MVP conversation.
Well, I mean, their offensive line and their run game, and then, of course, Michael Thomas. So I can't sit there and go, Drew Brees is the number one reason that's making this team successful.
Yeah.
It's a combination of things, and, of course, he's still playing really good.
This is incredible. Like, that might be the most stupidest, the most ignorant comments I done heard in a long goddamn time. Chris Sims, let me tell you something. How the hell could you make a comment like that when this dude is completing 77% of his passes, over 2,600 yards, 21 touchdowns to 1 interception? What the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about? Pat Mahomes, he's a good quarterback. Yeah, he's looking like he is he should be a candidate to be an MVP. But for you to say this dude is playing way better than Drew Brees, you have lost all of your damn mind. I don't know if you own something or if you're coming off it, but you're bad. And I wish to God I could have a conversation with you in person, even on TV, because I really shit on you. But with that being said, he talking about Drew Brees throw a lot of dump passes and screens and all this BS he's talking about. This is what I'm saying. If you look on how these defenses are playing the Saints, they play a lot of too deep high. You want them to force the ball down the field when they playing too deep high?
He forced it one time. He threw a pick.
They're gonna tear you up intermediate.
Correct.
They're gonna hit you with the screen. They're gonna take what the defense gives them. It's the same thing Tom Brady been doing for years. When Tom Brady played the Falcons, when they came back from 28-3, never forget, Falcon fans.
Never forget.
When they was down 28-3, a lot of his passes was
Dunkin' Donuts.
Dink and dunk.
Deion Lewis type plays.
Yeah, that's
all game
James
long.
White. That's how they came back in that game. Because the Falcons wanted to play too deep high. And that's how a lot of people play the Saints. So for you to say they not throwing the ball on the field enough, why would we force the ball on the field when they're not giving us that? Pat Mahomes, does he have a stronger arm than Drew Brees? Come on, man. We ain't stupid. We know that.
He's younger.
So he can take more chances. He's a gunslinger.
Right.
But for him to say this guy's playing way better than Drew Brees, and the reason why the Saints are going is because the running back tandem and the offensive line is atrocious.
Right.
Is the most ignorant thing I've heard in a long time. Chris Sims, you need your job taken from you immediately. They need to meet him in the tunnel with his walking papers. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I can't believe you say some stuff.
Listen. Joe Horton says clowns. Dirk Pullen said for real. Marty B says always a hater who that. And Rob Myers always says like you guys said, they are accustomed to seeing Breeze throw for 5,000 yards every year, damn near. But you have to realize the Saints never get recognition from ESPN and the media, even when we won the Super Bowl. Fuck 'em. Here's the truth. Let me break this down to y'all.
The hell he talking about?
First of all, we act like we seen a quarterback ever complete 77% of his passes. Like I told you originally.
He about to break his own record.
His record, he broke his record twice.
This man broke Peyton Manning's all-time passing yards. The hell? You just broke Brett Favre's touchdown mark.
Yes. Y'all listen, they act like as if Drew Brees, listen, we act like as fans or as media, we seen a quarterback ever complete 7% of his passes. We never. Drew Brees owns the record of 72. We are watching greatness. Listen, if I had to tell you any quarterback threw for 77% of his passes, you would tell me that he will only have 4 passing attempts or 5 passing attempts. This guy leads the league every year with 650 pass attempts. Every year. The guy has 1 interception on the season. We have never saw this. And for you to say that Drew Brees don't make the offense go, you could argue that it's the offensive line and the running back tandem. Stop. It starts and ends with number 9. Bottom line, I can make the argument that Pat Mahomes could not be an MVP candidate because Alex Smith started at 5-0 last year and was an MVP candidate the first 5 games. That's what I just told you. Andy Reid gets a quarterback. He develops quarterback. You don't forget Donovan McNabb. Don't forget Michael Vick. He made Michael Vick an MVP candidate 2 years after being in prison. Right. Stop this. Alex Smith was a very good quarterback for Andy Reid. After 5 games last year, the Chiefs were 5-0. With Pat Mahomes on the bench. Listen, Pat Mahomes has Sammy Watkins. He has arguably the best tight end right now because obviously Gronkowski is injured. Right. He has an all-pro running back in Kareem Hunt. He has an all-pro receiver in Tyreek Hill with Andy Reid calling plays. What are we talking about? He's in the same situation as the guy that he's about to go up against this week against the Rams and Jared Goff. And they have a very similar situation.
And another thing people got to take into account is, before we got our offensive line intact, like we talked about, Drew Brees was running for his life about 2 years. About 2-3 years, he was running for his life. That's when we missed the playoffs for 2 years. He's running for his life. That's why his interceptions was up, because he had to force the ball down the field a lot.
That's correct.
He had to take chances. He had to be a risk taker.
Yes,
now that our offensive line is intact and he can have a clean pocket more often than not, now you're seeing Drew Brees being able to take his time more, go through his progressions, and make the correct pass and make the correct play. So now what is he doing?
Watching
He's
history.
tearing the league up.
You're watching
77%,
history.
2,600 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Man, stay woke. Stay woke.
We act like we ever... Listen, bro.
We got to stop the hate, man. We got to stop hating like that.
Listen, bro.
He worse than Strahan, hating on us with the cell phone with Michael Thomas last
Yes, listen.
Come on, man.
Listen, when Steph Curry hits a numerous amount of threes in the game. First of all, let's get something straight. If Steph Curry hit 10 threes in a game, if Steph Curry hit 10 threes in a game, it looks normal. Why? Because Steph Curry's averaging, 5, 6, 7 3-points a game, right? That's what Steph Curry does. So when you see him hit 10 in a game, even though it's historic, you look at it as normal because this is what Steph Curry does, right? So even though he does something that's iconic, it comes off normal when he does it. Drew Brees is what as a quarterback? He is the most accurate quarterback in the history of this league.
Yeah. And I would agree with it.
So when you get to a point when you see him complete a 77%, which we never saw, it looks normal. It appears normal because when Steph Curry hit threes, it looks normal. When you realize he's doing something iconic. When Drew Brees, when you see LeBron play and he has 27 points and 10 rebounds and 12 assists, and you're like, he does it so normal that it looks, he does it so normally that you realize you're watching greatness.
Right.
You are watching greatness this year in Drew Brees. I'll give you another stat for Chris Sims out there if this ever gets to you. If it's so much about statistics and Drew Brees and Pat Mahomes can make all these different plays, I can show you a season where Drew Brees in 2011 had all the stats that you talking about with Pat Mahomes and he didn't win the MVP. Yeah. This is what I just told you.
Yeah.
In 2011 season, Drew Brees had every record you could possibly name of. And Aaron Rodgers won it because he won 15-1.
Yeah.
So delete all that what you just talking about, Chris Sims. Because at the end of the day, you are truly watching greatness in Drew Brees.
I would be able to understand his point better if he saw Drew Brees come out this season, and Drew Brees was trying to make certain throws, and he couldn't make them, and it was getting picked off.
Yeah.
Or if he was like just making some bad passes. I could understand it better. Drew Brees is taking what the defense gives him. What the hell do you want to do?
And you making it seem like, listen, you know that, listen, if that guy, listen, if Drew Brees was playing with Andy Reid right now, I think Drew Brees would complete 85% of his passes. You see? I think he would complete more. You got Sammy Watkins, you got Kareem Hunt, you got Travis, he has a tight end.
But this is a prime example of what I said weeks ago on the show. You know, as media, and I'm not counting me in that, but a lot of people in the media and fans, you know, we get caught up with the stigma of quarterback. Being 6'4", 6'5", with a rocket arm that can throw the ball 70 yards on the rope. We get caught up with that kind of stuff. And that's what Pat Mahomes is. So people get caught up with all that. Drew Brees is 5'11", 170 pounds soaking wet. He's not the sexy pick. He's not going to throw the ball 80 yards down the field. He's not going to throw a 20-yard comeback from the left hash to the right sideline.
Correct.
On a rope. He's not going to do that.
He's not going to do that.
But I tell you what he will going to do. He going to complete 77%
passes.
He going to throw for 26 touchdowns, one interception. He going to have his team 8-1, and he going to put his team in position to compete for a Super Bowl every year as long as the defense is doing its job.
That's it. And
so that's what people got to understand. So Chris Sims, you're bad. You've been bad. Your daddy bad too. And that's the only reason you're on television. Just to kind of like touch on this too, we got another historic thing that could be happening sooner than later this season. Mark Ingram, people, if he averages 75 yards a game from here on out for the rest of the season, he will break Deuce McAllister's all-time leading rushing record for the New Orleans Saints. So we need to keep that in mind. We have a season that's going to be that could possibly be very, very great historically, statistically. Right now, what's going on? Because if Mark Ingram does that, and we go on to hold that Lombardi Trophy, this could be one of the most iconic seasons that the NFL has seen.
09 to 2018?
You know what I'm saying? You know, Drew Brees breaking the records. Now Mark Ingram on the verge of breaking Deuce McAllister's record to become the all-time leading rusher for the Saints. This is looking like a special year for the New Orleans Saints.
And then again, I don't have the statistics in front of me, but the way Alvin Kamara's going as far as the amount of touchdowns in the season, that could also be another record from a skill position. Meaning like, okay, somebody outside the quarterback. The way that dude has, 14, 15 touchdowns on the season? Mm-hmm. I'm quite sure that there ain't that many Saints football players that had that many touchdowns in a season. Mm-hmm. That could be another record that's going up there. Dirk Pullen says, well said. David Lee partner said, exactly. Smoke the Bear Scott says, agreed. David Lee Porter also says, Saints always breaking records. They will not give them the credit. I agree. And Felicia Dupree says, funny. Listen. And my producer said, all the Super Bowl bound. Listen.
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. And 9 both said, yeah, the Saints are Super Bowl bound.
Whoever them 10 is, you're bad.
You're bad.
I mean, your team must be the Browns or something. They got to be.
Listen. Right now it's 9 out of 10. The Saints are Super Bowl bound. I got to agree with that. The Saints, to me, are Super Bowl bound. They're headed in that direction. There's nothing that tells me that they're not. Again, their only losses to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and trust me, folks, they put up 40 points. They just gave up 48. That defense, if that defense don't allow 30 points, to me, you come up with an L. That's just I don't see a team that can stop that. That's just how I want to see it. But we're gonna shift gears a little bit. We're gonna get into what we're talking about, little MVP conversations. We're gonna talk a little about offensive and defensive rookie of the year MVPs. As of right now, who some of these awards will go for? I'll start it off right quick as far as on the defensive side of the ball. A lot of people, we haven't played them yet, but it's coming up. I know that a lot of good defensive players that got drafted this year. Obviously, you got the Bradley Chubbs of the world. You got a lot of guys, the Denzel Wards of the world, who got picked really high in the NFL draft. But listen, folks, you got a kid in Carolina named Dante Jackson. Listen, bro, to me, this guy has 4 interceptions, 1 forced fumble, and he has 41 tackles. He has been what they've been missing. To me, I can make an argument that Dante Jackson is arguably the second or third best defensive player on the team. He has held down his side of the field. Like last year being drafted at LSU and Tre'Davious White having a high Pro Football Focus grade, of all corners last year. Dante Jackson is that guy for the Carolina Panthers. He is handling business at corner. To me, he's easily my defensive rookie of the MVP. He has my vote hands down. Now, granted, a lot of us fans have not seen it because we haven't watched Carolina Panthers games, but I've watched a few of them. That guy, 26, is holding his own. Listen, I'm not saying he's going to become an all-pro, but right now, defensively, he is like that. When the Saints play him, he's going to be on Mike Thomas. He's going to be like that. He's going to be, his athleticism, the way he's able to make athletic plays, is by far way above anybody. To me, that he's their best secondary player. It's not even close. Dante Jackson, out of LSU for the Carolina Panthers, to me, is an easily hands-on rookie defensive player of the year. Not knowing to go on the offensive side of the ball. I know a lot of people, you know, it's easy to pick a guy like a Saquon Barkley or pick one of the quarterbacks like a Baker Mayfield or someone like that. But to me, I'm going to stay right here in the NFC South, and I'm going to get that award to that guy named Calvin Ridley. Guy has 36 catches on the year. Guy has over 5 touchdowns. But listen, he leads the league. He leads the league in all rookies in touchdowns. 7 touchdowns on the rookie. Granted, he's a first-round pick, coming in out of Alabama. Did I really expect him to have 7 touchdowns for playing with opposite of a Julio Jones? Not really. And also playing opposite of Muhammad Sanu and having a Freeman and a Tevin Coleman. Did I really expect Calvin Ridley to have this type of season, as a first-round pick? I did not. I did not expect these amount of touchdowns out of Calvin Ridley because there's so many weapons that Matt Ryan could distribute the football to. But so for me, NFC South had the 2 best rookies in the NFL. One in Atlanta and Calvin Ridley, my rookie offensive player. And on the defensive side of the ball, I got to give it to the Carolina Panthers and Dante Jackson.
That's an interesting group of players you pick right there. Dante Jackson has been balling. I have nothing bad to say about Dante Jackson, but to me, on the defensive side of the ball, I'm torn between Denzel Ward and Edmonds from the Steelers, the linebacker.
Edmonds from the Steelers, yeah.
I think Edmonds is probably one of the most important people on that defense for the Steelers. I mean, the Steelers defense has not been like the Steelers defense of old,
right?
But he's been one of the most impactful players on that defense.
Agreed.
I think he's leading the team with 52 tackles, 2 sacks. I want to say he has like 2 forced fumbles, and like an interception.
Right.
So he's been playing lights out as a rookie. Edmonds out of Trey Edmonds out of Virginia Tech.
Exactly.
I'm talking between him and Denzel Ward. Denzel Ward has 3 interceptions on the year. I think he has 9 pass defense.
Right.
And he's been probably the most consistent secondary player for the Browns.
Yeah.
On the offensive end, I gotta go either Saquon Barkley. I'm torn between him and Calvin Ridley. But if I had to pick, I'm gonna go with Saquon Barkley. I mean, he has a terrible offensive line.
And that's not a wrong answer.
Yeah, he has a terrible offensive line. Terrible offensive line, and this dude still is running wild.
Right.
Leading all rookies with rushing touchdowns. I think he's still averaging like 4.1 yards a carry, something like that.
Yeah.
And he is a problem
in the passing game
for the defensive coordinators to have the game plan for us. So
yeah.
If I had to pick right now, I would probably go with Saquon Barkley. But Calvin Ridley has been balling too, and you just don't know how this is gonna play out. How it's gonna play out throughout the rest of the season, because we still got about 7 or 8 games
Correct.
left. So really look like he's getting more and more involved, and Matt Ryan started to trust him a little more.
Right.
But Saquon Barkley would be my pick for offense, and I would have to probably go with Trey Edmonds, the linebacker.
And Saquon for me, the surprising factor for me was, but I didn't really think, because I didn't witness that so much at Penn State. Now, I watched Big Ten football because I'm a diehard Michigan fan.
Right.
I didn't really think that he was a great pass catcher or receiver out of the backfield. For people who don't know, listen, Saquon Barkley has 62 receptions on the season. That's a lot for a running back. That's exceptional for a running back to have 62. Listen, Saquon Barkley could be arguably probably in the top 15, the top 20 in most receptions of any position. Doesn't matter if it's tight end, running back, or receiver.
Right.
That's a lot of reception for a rookie running back. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of responsibility you give to a rookie running back out of that backfield. He has 62 catches with 530 yards and 2 touchdowns. He has a total of 7 touchdowns so it's, you can't deny he's an all-around back. He's an all-around back. He's on passing downs. He could be your first down back, second down back, your passing back, your third down back. It doesn't really matter. Saquon Barkley is it. And if a lot of the Giants fans out there, a lot of people who are in media thinking that the Giants should have selected the quarterback, I'm here to tell you right now, I think they made the right choice. Not to say that I know the quarterback position is the most important position. I know Eli right now is terrible.com. Mm-hmm. I get that. And I know this is a rich, plentiful quarterback draft. But man, this guy here is exceptional. And I think that he can, see me, when you get a guy like Saquon Barkley, I think whatever quarterback you eventually do get in there, he gonna make his job easier. You know, it's one thing to go draft a franchise quarterback but don't have no weapons, but Odell Beckham. You got him a Odell Beckham. You got him a Shaquan. You got him a Alvin Ingram. He got a Sterling Shepard. Man, right now you're just a quarterback away now. You know, you can maybe make a trade if get somebody in there, get somebody in that situation, or you're gonna be picking high again.
Right.
Hey, you know, whatever the case may be. But I will, if I'm a quarterback, especially if I'm a young quarterback, I think my job, ask Dak Prescott how easy sometimes his job is, but having Ezekiel Elliott in the backfield. Ask Russell Wilson when he first got into Seattle and having a Marshawn Lynch.
Right.
Ask young quarterbacks, if you're talking about taking one, how good it is to have a very good back in the backfield. That's important. I don't want to take a quarterback and I ain't got nobody back there. You don't believe me? Go ask Rosen, John Rosen right now, out there in Arizona. I don't care what you say. He got a running back there. It makes the job a little easier. But you don't want to put nobody back there and have them chilling. I don't want to put anybody back there and make him Andrew Luck and say he ain't got nobody out there. That's not what I'm looking to do.
David Lee Prater says the Saints always breaking records. They will not give them credit.
I agree with that.
Dirk Paulin says, do y'all think we could have a dynasty considering our team? I don't know. Even though we young and I like our team. I
don't know.
You're just not gonna be able to pay everybody.
That's correct.
When you talk about dynasty, you're talking about this year, next year, and
following
year. So possibly this year and next year, we can pull it off. But after that, we got some people we got to pick.
You're gonna have 3 or 4 guys that you really got to write a check for.
Unless Goodell increases the salary cap,
which it goes up every year, but it goes up about 10%, so it's not a big significant number.
I don't see it happening. Devin Stiles says Chiefs versus Saints in the Super Bowl. You heard it here first. Hey, I would not be surprised that happened. Homeville defends their home turf tomorrow night or what? Devin, look, I've been telling people all week, Homeville will win tomorrow night. Look, Zachary is a good team, well coached, has a lot of talented players on their team.
The rematch?
Led by Keelan Brown, a quarterback who tore up in the state championship last year.
The rematch?
But I just think Homeville playing at home is going to be packed.
Andrew.
With a lot of Homeville fans and alumni. But Andrew Roberson will be the difference in that game. Along with Jaquan Jackson and that solid defense. And Coach Salt knows how to get his teams to play when it comes to playoff time. These guys won a state championship at East Jeff when nobody gave him a chance. And he was in the state championship last year against Zachary and was right there with him until his quarterback, Jaquan Jackson, got hurt. So I think this team has a great chance to pull off the upset tomorrow night against Zachary.
Right.
Jackson slipped on that vertical route to AB. But yes, Jackson is deserving of the Rookie of the Year. You ain't lying. And he was pissed off about it.
He pissed off about it.
He was on the sideline throwing a whole temper tantrum. You know what I'm saying? Darius Leonard has been solid. That's the kid from the Colts, huh?
Colts, yeah.
The linebacker, yeah. He hasn't been playing good, but I don't think
he leads the league in tackles.
Yeah, but he hasn't been playing better than Edmonds.
No.
From the Steelers.
No, he's not making the plays that Edmonds are making.
Right.
He's just leading the league in tackles.
Right.
So I don't disagree with you on that.
Right. So we still have a long way away. So week 17, somebody might surpass somebody. Leonard might surpass Edmonds. But as of today, Edmonds will be my defensive rookie of the year. And on offense, Saquon Barkley will be my offensive rookie.
You got to understand that Trey Edmonds is a guy who's coming in. I'm not saying he's taking over for Ryan Shazier, but they needed an athletic linebacker. They need a guy who come in and make plays. Obviously, the previous year, you drafted T.J. Watt out of Wisconsin.
And he's been balling.
And he's been balling. A couple of years before that, you drafted Dupree, Bud Dupree out of Kentucky. So they drafted some pamper. But listen, you know that Ryan Shazier, the injury he's had, and as much as I think he's a more support for that team, I don't think Ryan Shazier has a different battle besides football. Ryan Shazier has to get back to understand how to walk and live life, but prior to even getting back to understanding football. So drafting a Trey Edmonds out of Virginia Tech, I think it's been an exceptional deal for that team. I think he's been playing outstanding. I just love, to me, Dante Jackson is one of the reasons why the Carolina Panthers are 6-3. He's been underrated because you didn't have any expectations. Because at LSU, you didn't know if he was a corner or a safety.
Right.
He didn't move around so much, but when you saw him at the combine running the 4.3, you didn't know when you get to the pro level, you have to play a position. Every now and then you get a player or two that, they can roam around, but then again, at the pro level, you got to play a position. And now I'm watching him play corner. I'm saying to myself, man, that guy's good.
I tell you what,
good.
he gonna get tore alive when he play the Saints.
Got to play Mike Thomas.
Got to see Mike Thomas alive when he play the Saints.
Got to see Mike Thomas.
Believe that.
He got to see Mike Thomas.
You better not put him on Mike Thomas.
Got to put him on it.
You better put him on Brandon Marshall. And I think Brandon Marshall gonna have his week. And I like Dante Jackson, but look, bro. Hey, you gonna have your hands full with our offense.
Yeah.
But know that.
No, so right now, if I had to get to me, he has my vote. But I don't disagree. Obviously, Darius Leonard, the Chiefs, for the Colts, leading the league in tackles, man. Listen, there ain't no wrong answer to me with Saquon Barkley. I think what he's done has been exceptional. He's lived up to the bill. And whoever called him behind Eli, man, listen, you got a back who can get you the carries that you need. He can make a job a little easier. But I just love what Calvin Ridley did this year. I'm keeping the NFC South, baby. Keeping the NFC South. But listen, I'm gonna switch gears a little bit. I'm going to stay on one more topic on the NFL. Obviously, we know by Tuesday was the deadline for Le'Veon Bell. 4 o'clock Eastern time, he had to report to that camp. Didn't report. I don't know if he was in Pittsburgh or not, but it didn't happen. He didn't come in as contender. Obviously, Le'Veon Bell will be a free agent next year. Now, the Steelers do have an option to put the transitional tag on him, which is something I don't think they would do, but that's an option. But who do you think is going to be up for Le'Veon Bell's services next year?
I think it should be 3 teams that should really be going to Le'Veon Bell, and I think they're going to really throw some money at him. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yes.
Which that's going to put him in our division, so I hope that don't happen.
Agreed.
But I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be a great fit for him. I don't know what's going to happen with Jameis Winston. They're going to keep Fitzpatrick. I don't know how that's going to plan out, but I know Le'Veon Bell with Deshaun Jackson and Mike Evans
and O.J. Howard.
Oh my God, that's something to deal with. So
Calvin Bree.
So I hope that don't happen. But
and don't forget about Chris Godwin and Adam Humphries. They solid.
Yeah. So I hope that don't happen, but I think that'll be a great fit for him. And the Buccaneers got some money to spend.
Yeah.
The New York Jets. They Matt Forte retired. Now they just going with Powell and Eli McGuire, who is from the Tri-Parish. They're going with them two. I think Le'Veon Bell will show up that running back tandem.
And giving a young quarterback a running back option, which is important.
Tremendously down in New York. And even though I think, Ty Bowles will get his walking papers sooner than later. So I think that'll be a great fit for him.
Yeah.
Another place, the Baltimore Ravens. And I'm going to tell you why.
Them Steelers?
The Ravens would be a good fit for him too. First of all, you keep him in the division, and he gets to play against the Steelers 2 times a year.
Yeah.
So I could see that being a realistic destination for Le'Veon Bell.
Right.
To go to Baltimore and show the Steelers, look, y'all got to face me 2 times a year?
Yeah.
Boy, I'm about to give y'all all y'all can handle. And,
that's a good possibility.
So, and the Ravens got money to spend. So I think them 3 teams is realistic options for him. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the New York Jets, and the Baltimore Ravens. And I think out of them 3, he would pick the Baltimore Ravens so he can go against the Steelers 2 times a year and really tear them up for X amount of yards and really just shove it in their face. Look, y'all ain't want to pay me? I'm going to show you.
I got to listen. I think the Baltimore Ravens, I didn't even think about that one. That would be actually be a good destination. Obviously, if they decide to keep Flacco at quarterback, they're going to have a situation there next year, obviously, with, they drafted Lamar Jackson. Eventually, the guy got to get some reps. And you got a Joe Flacco at quarterback. Now, obviously, I think he can benefit from, whoever's quarterback there can benefit from having a guy in Le'Veon Bell's caliber. Listen, I've been on record. I've said this on many occasions. I think that when it came to the Steelers offer, I think it was a very fair offer. I think he's badly misrepresented it at this whole time. But I think at the end of the day, he held out to get Le'Veon. Listen.
And he's missing out on $13 million this year.
Yes.
Boy, Le'Veon, you must got some money in the bank. You must be even spending no money on nothing.
He's in Miami. He was spending money. You in South Beach.
Nah,
you went to South Beach. I've been to South Beach.
He can't be spending money like that. He can't be. You gonna let $13 million just go out the door like that?
Gee, he was in South Beach.
Man.
Miami.
We talking about 13 million. We talking about 13, comma, 000, comma, 000.
That's a lot of keys.
Come on, man. I'm just saying. I'm not gonna let $13 million just walk like that. So he must got money in the bank. He must be spending money on too much.
I don't know. Here's the deal.
He must got a nice 401k set up somewhere. I don't know. He must got some good investments.
Must have something.
I don't know what
I'm not passing $13 million.
I can't just let $13 million go out the door like that. I'm sorry.
Listen, there's a thing about pro sports. At the end of the day, it's a business first. I think a lot of players don't like to understand that. I posted a tweet on our FanView Live page about Le'Veon Bell tweet. Back for a few years back when he became a rookie. A lot of guys want not make it about money. Don't really care about the game. Listen, at some point in time, this is about your financial life. Bottom line, Le'Veon Bell is making sure that at the end of the day, he secure his financial life. I tell people all the time, listen, when it comes to pro athletes, they got to look at this as a business because the ownership is looking at it as a business. I'm not saying that pro athlete is not about winning. I think every pro athlete at some point in time wants to win, but they want to be compensated for the services that they bring to the game. Le'Veon Bell wants to be compensated, and Le'Veon Bell's holding out so he can be compensated. So you got to start looking at teams with the cap space. Teams like the Colts. To me, that's my biggest destination. If you're the Colts, I think I got to be the biggest bidder. At the end of the day, I got a franchise quarterback in Andrew Luck. And I don't have a running back in my life that can pass, block, or do anything to help protect my quarterback. He's been injured for past 2 years. Now I'm getting him back healthy, and I need to give him some help. I don't care what you say. You got $100 million. There's no wrong with you insuring Le'Veon Bell for the first 2 years of the agreement. Listen, I fully guarantee your money. You come help Andrew Luck. We come out here and we make some offense happen. 2, I would have to agree with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't know what they got going on in that quarterback situation down there, but they got some cap space. You go down there in Tampa Bay, listen, you can go down there and make yourself some money. At the end of the day, you got Mike Evans, you got Deshaun Jackson, you got O.J. Howard. Like I said, you got Adam Humphries, and you got Chris Godwin. And you got to have listen, I'm not saying Ronald Jones can't be a decent back, but I know Peyton Barber is not it. It's not it. So you bring a Le'Veon Bell in there, guess what? You can keep it Fitzpatrick. You know, I'm not saying you can manage the game, but you keep it Fitzpatrick and you figure out what you want to do with Jameis. I don't think Jameis' days are numbered there. And I'm not as a Saints fan, I don't want him in the NFC South, but it's a good destination. The overall destination for being him, but ideal, but I don't think they can really cough up his services. It's Green Bay. You package that man with that bad man in Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers. You put him down there. You got Devontae Adams.
And Aaron Rodgers deserves to get there.
He deserves to get there. You put him down there with a Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers. I don't think he never had a back of that kind of caliber. You put him in Green Bay. You got Devontae Adams. You got Jimmy Graham now. You got Randall Cobb. You got some of these up and coming receivers. You know, with the guy to Notre Dame, and you got the dude Ellison. You got a lot of talent down there in Green Bay to help this guy make sure that you could be contenders. Because obviously on the defensive inside the ball, you're bad.com. I mean, you traded, Clinton Dix, and, you don't know if you're going to re-sign Clay Matthews. This is going to be a disaster on the defensive end. At least you want to be able to know you can score 30. That's just how I see it. I think at the end of the day, that's what I'm looking at when they come out of Le'Veon. I'm looking at 33.
And look, I'm going to say this. I want to see Le'Veon get his money because he deserves it. Just because
he's earned it.
All the wear and tear that's been on your body, bro. I always want to see them brothers get their money.
I want to see athletes get paid. I want to see them get paid.
I want to see them get paid.
I just do.
But with that being said, bro, just going off of a few running backs that I remember that was one of the best running backs, if not the best running back in the league at that time. And when they switched teams, they wasn't the same because it's their running styles. And I think Le'Veon Bell fits in the same mold, bro. His running style is unique. It's not the same like Adrian Peterson or Ty Gurley. It's different. And Clint Portis. I remember when Clint Portis with the Broncos, he was leading the league in rushing every year.
Yeah. That's all like running back scheme.
He was an MVP candidate. Went to the Redskins and was a regular running back. He wasn't the same. DeMarco Murray. DeMarco Murray led the league in rushing with the Cowboys. Left the Cowboys. Like, yeah, I'm going to go to the Eagles and cut up. And was a shell of himself. Le'Veon Bell, I think, could be the same way.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful about throwing this kind of money at him. Like I say, I would be leery of it for 2 reasons. The wear and tear on his body.
Yeah.
His age.
Yeah.
And just because his running style is a unique running style. He doesn't run the ball like an Adrian Peterson or a Ty Gurley. He does not run the ball in that fashion. Right. So I'd be a little leery. You just got to keep that in mind because, like I said, when DeMarco Murray left the Cowboys, everybody thought he about to go cut up with the
Eagles. That didn't happen.
I don't even think he had 1,000-yard rushing.
No.
And the same thing with Clint Porter. Clint Porter struggled mightily
in Washington
with the Redskins. So I just don't know.
Right.
About, and then you got to think about this too. He took a year off, so it's going to be a lot of rust there and things of that nature. Is he keeping himself in shape? You just saw what happened when Dez Bryant came into the Saints workout, 5 pounds overweight, tore his Achilles. So you got to think about that with Le'Veon Bell too when he comes into the offseason. When he come in training camp.
Right.
Will he be in tip-top shape? Will he be able to carry that load like he did in Pittsburgh?
Right.
We don't know.
We don't know.
So you just got to be mindful. If it was me, if I'm going to sign him, it's going to be an incentive base. I'm not just going to throw you a whole bunch of guaranteed money like that. The most I'd probably give Le'Veon is probably about $15 to $20 million guarantee. You're not going to break the bank with me. It ain't going to happen. But I got to make a good business decision.
He just turned down 30, G. He turned down 30.
What that mean?
I'm with you.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that
I got to make the best business decision for my team. Okay? And I'm not going to just throw you $35, $40 million guarantee and, God damn it, the first week of training camp, you damn blow your shoulder out or you tear your Achilles, you tear your ACL.
I don't disagree with you on that.
I don't disagree with you on that. You got to be smart. You got to be smart. And you don't know if he's going to produce the same week because his running style is different.
It's unique.
It's different.
It's
so
unique.
You got to keep that in mind.
And again, you know, you got other backs who didn't have the same wave or flair productivity-wise. Like I'm saying, look at Shady McCoy. You know, in the Philadelphia Eagles uniform, he had a lot of production. He's a very good household name. When he got traded to Buffalo, was he productive? Yes, but was he still the Shady McCoy that you really saw, like you saw in Philadelphia when he had Andy Reid? No. Sometimes you only is really truly as good as your situation, like you say all the time. Le'Veon Bell has to really be mindful that can he really understand it? Because listen, his best season was 2017 when he had, you know, over 2,000 yards from scrimmage, but he only had 1,300 yards rushing. He only had 12 total touchdowns on the career. That's receiving and rushing. He's only had 9 rushing touchdowns. For people to understand, James Conner has 10. He's only played 9 games. So teams are also looking at what his value is because they're looking at what James Conner production. I don't think James Conner is the back that Le'Veon is. But from a production standpoint, when people look at numbers and start contracts, they're looking at your numbers. They're looking at what you produce. They're looking at James Conner saying, guess what? He's our touchdown you.
And that makes me even more so think that, you know, it might be the scheme.
It might be the scheme. It could be scheme.
Not saying that Conner is just as good as Le'Veon.
No.
Le'Veon is a great talent.
Great talent.
What I'm saying is, if Conner could come into that scheme and do what he's doing,
right? Could have D'Angelo Williams done the same thing if when Le'Veon was not healthy, when D'Angelo Williams was very productive in that scheme. Was very productive. At one point in time, I know he was a little knucklehead, but Carlos Williams was trying to, you know, out of Florida State was doing something. So could it be scheme? Because James Conner is looking like, I'm not saying by any means he's Le'Veon Bell.
Because James Conner, when he came out of Pittsburgh, in college, you know, I thought he was a solid running back, but I never
forecast this. I
never thought in a million years that he would do what he's doing right now.
What he's doing right now.
But, you know, and the Steelers got a really good offensive line, too. So,
correct.
You know, Le'Veon Bell, I just have to be a real leery about that situation if I'm a GM getting ready to try to sign him in the offseason. Just saying.
Yeah, again, I think the money's going to be there, but I think that at the end of the day,
somebody going to
pay him.
money, though.
Somebody going to give him money.
You might not get what you got when he was with the Steelers.
Right.
But
somebody's going to pay him.
Somebody going to pay him.
I think when you look at the Le'Veon situation, is that I think Le'Veon is after cost. He's after, I'm playing this game, I'm trying to get paid. And I don't knock that. I want athletes to get paid. You got to also understand that when you bring in Le'Veon Bell, I don't think you're also bringing in maybe a leader. You got to understand what he is, too. You got to understand that he's here to run the football and he can do so many different things. But if you're looking for this guy from a leader, like when you sign Odell Beckham, you got to know that he's not the leader of the team. That's not the guy you're going to. He's an athletic freak of nature, and he can make a lot of different plays, but you can't look at him as, man, I need him to be the leader of the locker room.
Right.
That's not his personality. I don't think there's going to be the same case with a Le'Veon Bell when you bring a guy like that in. I don't think he's going to be the leader of the locker room. I think he's going to be a guy who can make plays, who can, you know, get you. You can give him 300 rushing attempts. You can get him 85 catching yards. And he can average 15 touchdowns a year. That's Le'Veon Bell. Right. Now, if you ask him for anything more than that, he could be a voice in the locker room, talk about winning and blah, blah, blah. Hold on. You need to have other guys in the locker room for that. I think you need to have other guys in your locker room for that case. If you bringing him to be that too, I think that's not a check you need to be trying to write. Right. Because that's not what Le'Veon Bell is going to do. That's just me. I mean, this is kind of how I see it. But we're going to get ready to shift gears. When we come back, we got to take a quick break. I'm going to be about a minute and a half. When we come back, we got to get into college football. We got to discuss LSU Tigers. Big deal that happened down there in Baton Rouge this week. We got to have that discussion, y'all. Y'all stay right here on FanView, Real Fans Talk Sports, on the New Orleans Talk Network. Listen, like the page, add the page, share the page. Let's have a discussion when we get back.
Hey yo, what's up? It's your boy DJ Slick Daddy.
This DJ Slick 514.
And of course, I'm your girl, Black Coco.
Tune into the Live Line, New Orleans Talk Network, every Tuesday, 7 to 8:30 with all the trending topics.
And you can also check out my mix, DJ Slick Mix Part 1 and 2.
And of course, check out Coco's Sex Tips of the Week.
And hashtag TTBS. That's that bullshit. It's the Live Line, New Orleans Talk Network. Tuesday, 7 to 8:30. We always live. Let's go.
Oh, how the time flies. What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Dr. Rhonda M. Lawson. And can you believe that it has been 1 year since Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions hit your airwaves? We have interviewed authors, entrepreneurs, playwrights, musicians, and everyone in between, all to bring you the best of literary conversation. And we plan to do it again this year, but only better. So join us right here in the Literary Lounge each Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on the New Orleans Talk Network. See you there.
What it do, y'all? It's DJ Slick Daddy from the Live Line, here to tell you about the hottest bar on the West Bank, After Dark Sports Bar, 419 LaPelco Boulevard in Gretna. Come check us out on Monday for steak and oyster night. Thursday, free seafood night. Friday, 3-for-1 happy hour. Saturdays, ladies night, and always open for parties. And then Sunday, Saint Sunday, oldie but goodie Sunday. Come find out what is hidden for at After Dark Sports Bar, 419 LaPelco Boulevard in Gretna. Doors open at 6, 12 p.m. on Sundays. After Dark is a non-smoking atmosphere.
Hey yo, what's up? It's your boy DJ Slick Daddy.
This DJ Slick 504.
And of course, I'm your girl, Black Coco.
Tune into the Live Line, New Orleans Talk Network, every Tuesday.
Back everyone, welcome back. FanView, Real Fans Talk Sports, New Orleans Talk Network. Listen, y'all like the FanView Live page, go follow us on Facebook, subscribe to the page, tag a friend, add a friend. Again, we do this show each and every Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. It's the best sports show on the internet. I'm tired of telling y'all this. We sit down, we talk about everything going on in the world of sports. Like us on YouTube at FanView Live, go like us on Instagram at FanView Live, go like us on Twitter at FanView NOLA, and don't forget to follow GSportz. If you're trying to follow anybody what's going on in high school football right now, you trying to figure out what's going on in the state of Louisiana? If anybody knows what's going on, it's right here. It's GSportz. You ain't got to look no further. Just go to Facebook, GSportz. You go to YouTube, GSportz. That's what it is. We tell y'all this every week.
Get on the website, www.gsports.com. I got all the updates. I got everything you want to see. Go check it out.
That's it. That's how this works. Now listen, guys, we're going to shift gear, talk a little college football. Big time news out there in Baton Rouge. You know, obviously LSU beat Arkansas this week. From my understanding, I think Arkansas got a commit this week.
Devin Bush.
Devin Bush.
Yeah, right down there in the car.
Out of that car, and we had Devin Bush on the show a couple of weeks back, before the season started. You know, committed over there to University of Arkansas. Now, if I'm right, I found a lot of these kids on Twitter. I don't know if Greg Brooks
look like he about to decommit.
Like he about to decommit
to go to Arkansas. I don't know. That's what it looking like. He doesn't have a official announcement, but it looked like it could be coming.
It looked like it could be coming.
I don't know. We gonna see.
I mean, Greg Brooks did this show. When the season started out of West Jeff, you know, he's the original commit to Mississippi State, but he looking real good in that Razorback uniform. Looking real good in that Razorback uniform.
Photo shoot.
Yeah, looking real good in that photo shoot. But listen, for people who don't know, man, listen. Big time news out of LSU this week. Big time commit. Obviously, people who follow high school sport, follow college. John Emery out of Destrehan, one of the best running backs in the nation. I think top rated. If you go to Rivals.com, could be rated #1 in the nation. If you go to 24/7 Sports, he's probably rated at #2. John Emery is a big time recruit in the country. That's just the fact straight. Decommits from Georgia 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks later, LSU loses to Bama. LSU beats Arkansas this week. Big time commit Tuesday. John Emery committing to LSU. Now, for people to understand that LSU has a big recruiting class in 2019. Now, if I had this all pulled up, LSU has now committed 7 of the top prospects in the state of Louisiana. You get Dante Starks, Trey Palmer out of Kentwood. You got Derek Stingley. You get the offensive tackle, I think, out of Southern Lab. Cardell Thomas. A lot of big time commits. What does this mean?
They got Peter Parrish. The dual threat quarterback out of Alabama.
Yeah. You know, and also people don't understand, they got a guy named Deshaun Miller out of Arizona. He's not a Louisiana commit, but out of Arizona. He's the #3 corner in the nation, along with Derek Stingley. What is your take on LSU getting John Emery out of Destrehan?
I thought it was a home run. Getting John Emery, a running back of this caliber, is going to solidify the running back problem they had this year. No disrespect to Kyle Edwards, he left, and Nick Brissett, but John Emery is going to probably be a day one starter. If he comes in and puts the work in and learns the playbook like he's supposed to, I think this guy's going to be a day one starter when he comes in. It was a smart decision for him to decommit from Georgia. Georgia is loaded at running back. and it's not that he can't play at Georgia,
No.
but you're going to be splitting time with about 4 running backs. Come to LSU where you could be the guy, and I think that Kyle Edwards-Helaire and Chris Curry is going to be good complementary backs to John Emery. Now, Tyron Davis out of Southern Lab, he's coming to LSU too.
Yeah.
So he's going to be a good running back that's going to complement John Emery too. But we all know John Emery is going to be the #1 running back in this class. We know that. I think what ended up happening, LSU really wanted Noah King out of IMG, who's really from Baton Rouge, but he's out there playing for IMG. I think Noah King seems like he's flirting with a lot of different schools. Florida State, Penn State. I forgot the other schools he's flirting with. It looks like he liked LSU, but it's like he's not leaning toward LSU. Right. I think LSU put the pressure and came with the full court press on John Emery, letting them know, look, man, stay home. Come home and be the guy. Come on. You're going to be the #1 guy in our backfield next year. Yeah. And they're not selling him a dream because with Tyron Davis coming in from Southern Lab, and you got Kyle Edwards-Helaire coming back, and you got Chris Curry, who's a freshman this year, John Emery's going to be the best running back among all of those running backs. Right. So there's not he can see that. I mean, it doesn't take a scientist to figure this out.
He can be the best guy back there.
So this is a great decision by John Emery and his family. I think he comes in as a true freshman next year and makes an immediate impact for the LSU Tigers. I think it was great. All they got to do now is shore up the quarterback position. Joe Burrow, I don't know if he's the answer going forward. Peter Parrish coming in, can he do it as a true freshman? I think he's an early enrollee. I'm not sure. I can't remember how to go back and look. But if they can get Joe Burrow better than he was this year and make him a little more polished.
What would be your case with Miles Brennan?
I think Miles Brennan going to end up transferring.
Okay.
I think you see that, especially if Peter Parrish comes in as an early enrollee and you see him come in and compete in the spring, and it looks like Peter Parrish is going to be the second string, or him and Joe Burrow is fighting for the starting job. I think you see Miles Brennan transfer, which I said this from the jump. No disrespect to Miles Brennan. I think he's a good quarterback. He's not the best fit for LSU. Okay? If you want, whatever quarterback you're trying to recruit, you got to recruit a quarterback that's going to beat Bama. And that's just plain and simple. I can't put it no simpler than that. And the only way you beat Bama is with a dual threat quarterback. Peter Parrish is a dual threat quarterback. Right. Joe Burrow, he can move around a little bit, but he can't move like Peter Parrish. I think Peter Parrish has a good chance to come in here and play as a freshman. We're going to see how it's going to pan out. Hopefully he can come in and learn that playbook. And I think another thing, I think Orgeron has to really consider, especially if the LSU Tigers get into this 14 playoff, which I think they have a great chance to do. And I'm going to tell you why in a second. But if they mess around getting this 14 playoff, I really don't see them having a real shot to beat a Clemson or Alabama. And I think they expose this offense once again, which means I think Orgeron needs to go out, fire Ensminger or demote him, put him back at tight ends, and go get you a real offensive coordinator that's going to come in with a spread system.
Browse?
I don't know. I don't know.
You say spread first, then come out.
I don't know if they want to take that kind of. I don't know if they want to take that kind of scrutiny and all the kind of the headache they're gonna get from the alumni and the fans, but behind domestic violence. Because you know why our Browns got fired. A lot of sexual abuse and domestic violence that was going on this campus at Baylor. So I don't know if they will bring him in, but they need to bring somebody in that's gonna run a full blown spread and put a player like Joe Burrow or Peter Parrish in that type of offense with all these dynamic receivers that LSU got. Yeah. And that's the way you beat Bama. If you come back running the same stuff y'all running this year, I just don't see it happening. You got somebody like Jamar Chase, Terrence Marshall, Sullivan, Justin Jefferson. You got these kind of receivers at your disposal. And then Kenny Jones, who's redshirting this year, is gonna be coming back next year. You got Trey Palmer coming in. As a redshirt freshman. Trey Palmer, Racing McMahon. Man. You got all these different dynamic receivers. You need to run a spread. You got to expose these defenders and put these guys in position to be successful. And so I think that's the only way you see LSU have an opportunity to beat Bama next year is if they do that. And adding John Emery to the fold is going to help with that because John Emery is big time. And like I say, him and Kyle Edwards-Helaire and Chris Curry and Tyron Davis coming in from Southern Lab, I think that's going to be a really good running back committee next year. So I think it was a good decision for John Emery to decommit from Georgia and come to LSU. That was a big win for LSU on yesterday.
Listen, LSU has jumped to number 5 in the top 5 recruiting in the nation with the sign of John Emery. I think it's a big deal. Obviously, you got to look at it this way. For the past 2 years, they have not been able to land the big-time running back recruit, whether it's Louisiana or not. Obviously, 2 years ago, you had Cam Akers, who they could not land, that went committed to Florida State. Last year, we had Najee Harris, who committed to, obviously, Alabama. You know, now, you got John Emery coming up, and you say to yourself, man, he's an in-state prospect out of Louisiana, one of the best in the nation. At some point in time, LSU is a run offensive team. You got to land that guy. You can't let that guy get out of the state. At some point in time, you got to say, man, listen, this guy got to be committed to the purple and gold. Obviously, you had a very good recruiting class last year. This recruiting class is shaping up to be a real big-time recruiting class. When you're talking about Dante Starks, Trey Palmer, John Emery, Derek Stingley, and you got 2 other big-time commits. Coach Haynes coaches them out there and they meet. You know, we don't know where they're going. If you can land both of those guys, that's going to shore up the recruiting class for the state of Louisiana. That's just the bottom line. It's about where those 2 guys are going to fall. We know who those 2 guys are. We talking about Lee and Ish.
It's
the best option and Devontae Lee. It's about where those 2 guys are going to land. If LSU can still get those 2 guys, man, listen, you shored up your recruiting class. That's just the bottom line. John Emery's a big deal. I think he's a very solid. You see the thighs on this kid. Listen, this kid has an SEC frame. He has an SEC caliber. He could come in and play real early. But I agree with you on this. At some point in time, you got to address the quarterback position. You can't win the way you lost 29-0 at home. And this is a very good LSU team that beat 3 top 10 teams prior to losing to Alabama. You got to figure out how to get some spray guy in there. I ain't talking about the Brandon Harris or the Anthony Jennings or the Jordan Jefferson. I mean, you need to really get a guy. And
I think it's more so about the system.
Yeah, the system.
You got to bring somebody that's going to run a full-blown spread. You got to, man. You can't keep running this rinky-dink, all this motioning and stuff they're doing and trying to get in our formation. Man, this is not the Niners no more.
No, it's not.
You got to evolve with the time. And with the athletes that we have at our disposal, you got to take advantage of that, man.
Yeah.
You got all these receivers, man. You got to take advantage of it.
You got to take advantage of it.
You got to take advantage of it. You got to.
You have a lot of talent in that offense to say, you know what? For you to lose 29-0 and not really move the ball in that team, I think Alabama's is a very good defense. But I'll be freaking honest with you. It ain't the best defense they had.
Right.
Let's cut all corners. That's not the best defense Alabama's had. I've seen better. I've seen them. They had better.
It's a really good defense.
It's a good defense.
It's a really good defense.
It's a good defense because it's coached by Nick Saban, and I'm not saying that it's not going to be good. But what I'm getting at is they've had better pro players on that defense at one point in time, all at one time, than this defense now. It's good. I like number 92, the defensive tackle. I love the fact that they got the transfer from LSU, Savion Smith. You got Patrick Surtain. They got a couple other guys.
Shaheem
Corner. Yeah.
DeAndre Thompson at safety.
Yeah. They got
Moses.
They got some players. I mean, but I've seen Alabama have some fairly good defenses when you talking about I remember when they had Courtney Upshaw and they had Hightower there and CJ Mosley backing them up. You see what I'm saying? I remember that defense having some pretty good talent at some point in time. I've seen better defenses from Alabama. This is probably their best offensive team I've seen. You know, with the amount of talent they got with, Jerry Jeudy and all these other guys. Like, I ain't never seen that much talent on offense inside the ball. But so
this is the best quarterback Nick Saban's ever had.
He's ever had. That's not even close. So it's to me, they got to get to a point where LSU. I love the class. I love the sound of John Emery. Obviously, you got 2 other guys you got to go get signed. But at some point in time, you got to figure out if Joe Ball is going to either get the football to the players that you got out there, or if Joe Ball, you got to recruit the guy. That's just the bottom line. You can't lose 29-0. If you're the LSU head coach, you got to realize that. I said this in my video. Sometimes you just recruited. You're the coach to beat one team. You could lose 1 or 2 SEC games. But at this program, certain schools you are hired to beat this program. And if you're Ed Orgeron, you got to understand the fact that your job is solely predicated on if you can beat or compete with Alabama. I'm sorry. That's your job. You can't lose to these people 29-0. These games got to be nail biased down to the wire. These games can't be over at halftime. If you're over at halftime, it won't matter the recruit class you have. The people will want you out of there. Because at the end of the day, that's what the job boils down to. Because at the end of the day, that's what's going to require you to get to that playoff game. It's just what it is.
And I ultimately think the game Saturday against Arkansas, I think they played down to the level of their competition. Arkansas, came into the game 2-7. I mean, I just thought that LSU really played down to the level of their competition. They should have blew these people out.
Blew them out.
And I thought the offense should have looked a little better than what it did. Yeah, Burrow was 15 for 21, 195 and a touchdown. But I thought he should have been way more
300 yards passing.
Yeah, I felt like he should have thrown for way more yards. Nick Brissett only had 90 yards on 23 carries. I mean, the offense is not up to par. And the defense did their thing until the end of the fourth quarter when they gave it the last 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Which made the game a little reasonable.
Right.
But they offense has to get better. And I'm gonna tell y'all, man, LSU has a real shot to get into this 14 playoff because I think the way it's gonna pan out. I was looking at it the other day. I really think that Oklahoma's gonna lose to West Virginia the last game of the season.
Will Greer.
I think Georgia's gonna lose to Bama
in the SEC championship.
And who else was it?
You got Ohio State, Michigan.
I think Ohio State possibly is going to be Michigan. Now I hope I'm wrong about that because I'm a Michigan fan.
Yeah, me too.
And that takes those 3 teams out of it, and that's going to put LSU.
But LSU got to handle business against A&M.
Yeah,
at the end of the season,
which I think A&M has a good shot to beat LSU.
Right.
Especially playing them at home.
Right.
But if those 3 teams lose, like I think they're going to lose, LSU's going to slide in.
Yeah.
Into that 14 playoff.
Now Kyler Murray is trying to make that Heisman candidate,
and he's doing a good job. I think if I had to pick a Heisman, Kyler Murray is my pick, and that's just the bottom line.
Over Tua.
I'm picking Kyler Murray over Tua. Oklahoma defense is just terrible.
It's bad. It's bad.
It's bad.
It's bad.
It's bad. And
but
that's not Kyler Murray's fault.
No.
But Kyler Murray's playing lights out this year, and I would love to see Oklahoma in the 14 playoff. I ain't gonna lie, but I think they're gonna lose to West Virginia. And I want to say they play West Virginia at West Virginia. And even if they do win that game, they still got to play in the Big 12 championship, babe.
Yeah.
So I think Oklahoma loses, especially when you got a defense like that can't stop a nosebleed. You can't trust them people. So I think they're going to lose, like I said. And I don't see Georgia beating Alabama.
Right.
And I think Ohio State beats Michigan. And that will put LSU back into the 14 playoff.
Listen.
With 2 losses.
With 2 losses. Listen, all those things will have to happen. Right now, LSU controls their own destiny. They have to win. But if the other teams ahead of them, such as especially Michigan, if Michigan finish out, then it's almost that's where the spot is. Now, a lot of people are thinking that, hey, listen, Notre Dame is not going to lose a game this regular season. Listen, I don't think USC is going to beat them. I don't think what they have in front of them is going to beat them. I think Notre Dame is going to be in. I find it very difficult to see where Clemson loses with the rest of the remaining schedule, including the ACC champion. I don't see a team that from an ACC position that could beat Clemson. And Alabama is all the way for the SEC championship game. They play the Citadel this week for crying out loud. I don't think Tua going to even play. That's just what it boils down to. So the wild card is Michigan. We know that game with Michigan and Ohio State is coming up. That's the game. Obviously, Northwestern is the team that's coming out the South, I believe. It's coming out the South. And Michigan has a chance to come out of the North. So Michigan has to get up past Ohio State. I think whoever wins that game can beat Northwestern. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
But because Wisconsin is not coming out of there, it's Northwestern. But at the end of the day, if Michigan loses, they're out. They're just out.
Can't lose late.
Can't lose late. Can't lose late. And if for LSU's benefit, they've lost at a time when you can recover because they still has to play SEC caliber talent that's going to give them the body work they need. You can say, oh, they lost to Florida. Yeah, but they only lost to Bama too. That's it. I beat Auburn. I beat Georgia. I beat Miami. These things are going to matter when they play them. So you got to start looking at the systematic situation. Oklahoma, I think they will lose to West Virginia. I just think they will. I think Will Greer, with the targets that he had with Tevin Bush and all those other guys down there, he's not just playing like a Heisman candidate. Will Greer's playing like a pro quarterback.
Right.
He's playing. I didn't see this Will Greer at Florida. I just didn't. He's playing like a pro quarterback. He's playing like a guy like, listen, take me #1 overall. He has something to prove for. He has something to play for. I think they can beat Oklahoma. And again, the wild card's going to ultimately ball down to us. If Ohio State beats Michigan, then I don't think Ohio State can recover. I think Ohio State's out. But they can spoil Michigan plans. I don't care how you want to look at it.
I think the only way Ohio State surpasses LSU is if they come out and play Michigan and beat them
come bad. Like they had to.
You beat them convincingly. The committee might get swayed a little
like a
bit.
35-3 or something like that. Like something like
swayed, which I don't see happening.
No,
but that's the only way I can see the committee getting swayed to put Ohio State ahead of LSU.
Right. It had to be some dominating performance to a point like you like, man, it was bad. Like it was bad. Like why Michigan was 4, but. Listen, I'm rooting for Michigan to win, but at the end of the day, these are the scenarios because LSU is ranked 7 when they come down the playoff. When they come out of the playoff pool, they're at 7, so they're not out of it. But they got to handle their business. Their biggest test gonna be from this point out is gonna be A&M. They could be A&M, and they get some other dominoes to fall their way. I think.
I'm gonna tell you, man, that A&M game. I'm telling you, I said at the beginning of the season, go and play them people the last game of the season down there at A&M, the 12th man. With Jimbo and them, and you know Jimbo and them getting better and better as the season going on, that's not going to be no easy game.
No, it's not.
It's not. So, LSU got to be careful of that because they're going to be pissed off if Oklahoma lose, Georgia lose, Michigan lose, and then they lose to A&M, and then they just piss themselves away out of the 14 playoff.
Out of the playoff.
You know, so you got to handle your business. You control your own destiny right now because I really think there's a good chance those 3 teams will lose and LSU will get in that 14 playoff. Nah, when LSU get in that 14 playoff, they don't have a shot in hell to beat Clemson or Alabama. Let's just make that clear. It ain't going to happen. Unless Joe Burrow and Isminger decides to go into some kind of time machine and reincarnate themselves as some kind of Steve Spurrier and Danny Wofford, it ain't gonna happen. So, but it's gonna be good for publicity, recruiting to get into that 14 playoff, and just be in it. And be relevant again. You know what I'm saying? Because, LSU hasn't been into the 14 playoff since when?
They haven't been in it at all.
2011?
They haven't been in the playoff at all. The 14 playoff, they haven't been in it at all.
2011 was the last time.
The last time they've been in the national championship.
7 years ago.
Yeah, you got to get it together. Got to get it together. You know, now granted, someone has somehow, Notre Dame fall somewhere. You got an additional shot. They're not far out. They just got to handle their business because understand that I think one of them dominoes is going to fall. Georgia's going to be out. I think Georgia's going to lose in the SEC championship. One of them going to fall to the wayside. Question is going to be is, what then you're depending on Ohio State and you're depending on West Virginia. And if those two can do their part, you right there where you need to be. Got to handle business. You got to handle your business and you control your own destiny. Then after that point in time, you got to figure out what you're going to do in the offensive side of the ball because you got to realize that shit you pulled off a couple of weeks ago down there in Tiger Stadium, that shit ain't going to cut it because you're going to be the 4th seed going into that situation. You're playing Bama. And at the end of the day, I know it's a neutral field, I know it's a neutral site, but that shit you just pulled off ain't gonna cut it. Ain't gonna cut it at all. But listen, I want to switch gears a little bit. We got about maybe 30 minutes left in this show. A lot of NBA need to get into. That needs to get discussed. We got to switch gears. For people who know, big time blockbuster trade that was happened. Obviously, it should have been happened, but it finally went down. Jimmy Butler was traded over from the Minnesota Timberwolves down to Philadelphia 76ers. Rodney Covington was a part of the deal. I think Darko Surge was part of the deal. And I think a second round pick was part of the deal. But here's my take. There was a lot of other deals that came up about when the deal finally happened that makes me think a little bit. Did the Timberwolves get the best value from Jimmy Butler? Because there's a lot of offers out there. We know we covered the first offer about the first 4th round picks for Jimmy Butler from Houston. Then Houston, there's another offer that Houston put on the table, I think with Brandon Knight, and I think a 1st round pick in Eric Gordon. And the Pelicans had a 1st round pick in what's his name?
I think they offered him Drew Holiday. I think it was Drew Holiday.
No, it wasn't Drew Holiday. It was the guy next to Anthony Davis, the center. We got from Chicago. It's on top of my team. Miricic. They offered Miricic and a 1st round pick for Jimmy Butler.
Okay. I don't know. No, you know what it was? They asked for Drew Holiday.
Yeah, they asked for Drew Holiday.
They wanted Drew Holiday. That's what they wanted.
They wanted Drew Holiday, but they offered Miricic and a 1st round pick for Jimmy Butler. My question to you, GSportz, is: did the Timberwolves get the best value for Jimmy Butler, or is Jimmy Butler in the right situation?
The Timberwolves did not get the best value. I mean, Sartic is a good player. Don't get me wrong. Robert Covington is a good little role player. Right. And you got a 2nd round pick. You didn't get what you deserve for Jimmy Butler.
Right.
you should have took the full first round picks from Houston.
Right.
That would have been more feasible than what you did with the 76ers.
Right.
And Jimmy Butler's going into a great situation. You're going into a situation where y'all going to have a real big three.
Right.
Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, and Jimmy Butler. That's going to be something to be reckoned with in that East. I think that's the best team in the East right now. Now, I know they got to work things out for as chemistry and playing together and stuff like that. But on paper, that's going to be something to behold.
Right.
When you got to face them three on a nightly basis. And so I think Jimmy Butler could have went to a better situation. I even think this is a better situation than if he would have came to Houston. I really feel like that. And I can't
Really?
Yeah, I really think so. Because you got to think about it. Jimmy Butler is going into a situation and be in the post. Ben Simmons got into taking him under his wing and showing him the ropes. And look, this is how you play. This is how you win. This is how you get to the playoffs. This is how you play in the playoffs. And I think Brett Brown, who comes from under that Popovich tree as a coach, he going to do a good job molding his team. And then you got people like J.J. Redick.
Yeah.
I just think that this is a good situation for Jimmy Butler. I think the 76ers is going to have a really good shot to come out the East. If chemistry-wise, they can get it together. You know, it's going to take a little while, but I think they're going to get it together, man. I mean, I'm excited for Jimmy Butler and excited for the city of Philadelphia because it's been a long time coming for them to be excited about something. And I know when Ben Simmons and Embiid got there, they've been a little excited, but you didn't think that them two could lead this team to a promised land.
Right.
But
they needed somebody else.
Add somebody like Jimmy Butler. Now you like, shit, we got a real shot to get to the finals this year. So I can't wait to see them get it together. I think they are the #1 team in the East right now. And then you got the Raptors, and then, the Celtics, in my opinion. Even though the Celtics are 7-6 right now, I still had the Celtics better than the Raptors.
Right.
So I got the 76ers is the best team in the East, the Celtics, then the Raptors. Everybody else, you just out there playing.
You're out there playing basketball to play basketball. You're out there for a check. Yeah. That's your job, that's your occupation, that's your profession. Yeah. Listen, I think the Boston Celtics is still #1. I think they still got something to figure out there. Obviously, you just said it. They're 7-6, but to me, I think the coaching is some point in time that matters in basketball. I think, when you got a guy as their head coach, Brad Stevens, I think he found a way to get players to overachieve at some point in time. I think then for Brad Stevens, but he got to figure out his roster. He got to figure out his rotation. Obviously, by not having a Gordon Hayward last year, guys were able to come into their own and find their identity much easier. Now having Gordon Hayward this year, having Kyrie Irving healthy, guys found their role because Kyrie Irving didn't play in the playoffs. Gordon Hayward didn't play all year last year. Guys found their identity real fast, but now guys got to really figure out how to play together. And right now they're not playing, and Al Horford's not playing the way he's playing. Jason Tatum's not starting out very well. Jaylen Brown's not starting very well. We talked about it last week. We already know Terry Rozier is unhappy about not getting the amount of minutes. And you still got Marcus Smart, and you still got Malik Morris. So a lot of this rotation has to figure itself out. But I think they're still the best skillful team. Toronto is going to be a very good team when you got a Kawhi Leonard down there playing basketball and he's healthy. They're going to be a better team. But the 76ers right now, I don't know. I think they didn't get the best. They didn't get the best offer. I think that Houston is a situation where I think he could have still thriving. When you put him back in the Western, I think the Timberwolves were looking at the fact that I don't want this guy in the Western Conference. Right. I don't want to see him. I know I offered something from the Pelicans, but there was no. I don't think that was going to work. I don't think they really want this guy in the East as best as they can. If they didn't put this guy on the Houston Rockets, to me, well, you still could find a way. I know trading Aaron Gordon would have been a big deal, but if you got Jimmy Butler, we talking about James Harden, who's to me the best scorer in all the NBA. Chris Paul, when healthy, come postseason, be the best distributor, one of the best vocal leaders on that team, and having a Jimmy Butler who's around guys who says, because he feels like, I want to be in a situation where I don't have to bring up every guy. Guys, that winning is on the table. Mm-hmm. James Harden knows winning is on the table. Right. Chris Paul knows that winning is on the table. He don't have to have the same conversation that he had to have where he had to talk to Karl-Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins. He ain't got good. He ain't grabbing the third stringers and beating no James Harden and Chris Paul. Mm-hmm. That ain't happening, dog. You're not gonna grab these guys over there and say I can beat y'all. No, you're not. Right. No, you're not. No, you're not. Because James Harden think he can beat you. You see? So it's one of those things where if he got to Houston, man, you really pose a threat to them people down there in Golden State. And we'll talk about the team in Golden State in a minute. If he can buy into what D'Antoni is trying to install offensively, and do what they need to do on an offensive end. Shoot the basketball, penetrate, get to the basket, shoot threes when it's necessary. I think that would have been a real viable situation because you're still keeping Capella. You see what I'm saying? You're still keeping some other intangible pieces that the Houston team. It ain't like you're trading Aaron Gordon, which is a big piece. It's a sixth man, but you still got guys like Gerald Green. You still got guys that can still come in here and make a plays for that basketball team. I think it'd have been a big deal because it's something that you could have kept together too. Yeah. You could have kept together beyond just this season. You could have kept together for another season or two and figure out if Golden State don't stay together, then guess who's the team to fear?
Right.
The Rockets. Because you got to think about, oh, man, if James Harden having a bad night, but you know he's going to get to that free throw line. Chris Paul having a bad distributor night, you know Jimmy Butler going to get buckets. You know, so I love the fact that he is in Philly. I didn't like what Philly traded for him. They didn't trade enough. They didn't get enough for Jimmy Butler.
Right.
Based upon them, I think Eric Gordon fits the Timberwolves as a sixth man as a good situation. He comes in and replaces what Jamal Crawford was doing. Yeah, he come in to replace what Jamal Crawford was going to do. It still fits their situation. Not that Riley Covington is a bad player, but I think Eric Gordon is a better sixth man on any basketball team than most teams in the NBA. You put him back in that backcourt with him and Derrick Rose, you can find where to get buckets. You know, I think that was a better deal, but I think he's in a better situation. Meaning like, okay, some situation where him in the East, I can compete. I'm playing with two potential new All-Stars, and I think they got the much for him. But I'm happy for him that he's in Philadelphia and he's out of a Minnesota Timberwolves uniform. I am happy for him on that regard. But now, there's some other drama. Mm-hmm. You go talk to these boys down there in Golden State. Draymond Green gets the rebound against the Clippers. Instead of KD over here doing this. Dribbling the ball, fumbling the ball, goes out of bounds. They get to the sidelines, words are exchanged. Man, you tripping. You can pass me the ball, blah, blah, blah. Draymond Green goes off on a tangent. He raises emotion on his sleeves. That's just Draymond Green. And there's words that are exchanged. And then, obviously, as they're bringing up from the huddle, more words are exchanged. Obviously, Boogie Cousins got to pull Draymond Green to the side and let him know, man, calm down, whatever case may be. But word comes out that they had more conversations in the locker room when the games because they lost again in the Clippers. They lost that game. They
had no business losing to them.
They had no business losing. I actually watched that game. They lose that game. They go in the locker room. Draymond Green has more to say. Calling Kevin Durant a bitch. Telling him he's not going to re-sign here. Talking about you ain't committed to the organization. All these things are coming about. GSportz, what's your take on Draymond Green coming at Kevin Durant? Is that the proper time? Would that merit it at all by any means? Is he jealous? What's going on with Draymond?
I think this is a clear indication of, when you didn't want some championships and, everybody on the team saying a politically correct thing that it's all about winning. Yeah. And I don't care about getting the shine. I don't care about this amount of points. Man, stop. Stop with the BS.
Cliche.
Egos are emerging. And so Draymond, Draymond wants to be considered one of the guys. He don't want to be looked at as just a second fiddle to KD, Clay, and stuff. He wants to be looked at, look, I'm one of them people too. I'm one of them guys too. And that was the whole reason behind why he did that. He wanted to take it coast to coast, and he wanted to score the bucket and be like, yeah.
I'm like that.
I'm like that, and I can score and make clutch plays too like these guys. Yeah. That's what all that was about, man. This is what happens. It happened with the Bulls. It happened with the Lakers. When you start winning championships, you got a dynasty flowing, man, egos gonna surface at some point, and that's what's going on. KD is a prima donna. I can't put it no other way. He's a prima donna. We all know when him going to Golden State, that was a weak move. When you went there just to get rings. You went out on a team that won 73 games and set an NBA record, and that beat you in the playoffs after you was up 3-1. You made this bed, now lay in it. That's what's gonna happen. And we all know you didn't want to be here long term. You just came it's a pit stop.
It's a pit stop.
You came in to get rings, bro. That's all you came to do. That's why I don't really respect it.
Right.
So Draymond, he understands that. Draymond used him. This is a rental. That's all Draymond Green trying to say. You was a rental for us. We already know you're not committed to coming here and staying here for long term. You come in here, get your little rings to solidify your career, so you could be looked at as one of the greats. Like, yeah, I got 3 rings, but we know you're trying to go elsewhere. And I'm gonna tell you, bro, KD gonna probably end up in either New York, with Kyrie, or he gonna end up in LA with LeBron. That's the only 2 destinations I see him going to. And Draymond Green called him out on that. Do I agree with how Draymond Green handled it? No, I don't. But this is something that's been brewing. This is something that's been going on from the off season to now. This ain't something that just all of a sudden just happened. No. This is something that's been brewing. And Draymond is the type of person, like you say, he wears hard on his sleeves. And that was the time for him to say what he wanted to say. And I think Pete purposely took that ball on the court to do that. He did it, yeah. He had on his mind from the jump, even if I make him miss this, I wish somebody would tell me something. Yep. KD, I wish you would say something. Boy, I'm going to put you in your place, and I'm going to call you on how I feel. And that's all that's about. Yeah, but I agree with that. What I think is going to end up happening, though, bro, and I hope I'm wrong, I think this is only going to make them stronger. I think this is going to bring them closer together. I think this is going to make them have bulletin board material inside their locker room to be able to go out there and be on something. It's us against the world. And that's going to put them in a situation to where they're going to be very, very scary to deal with going forward. I agree with that. So we're going to see how it play out. But KD, you a hoe. You been a, you know what I'm saying? You a hoe. You been a hoe. You know what I'm saying? And Draymond called you out on that. Draymond acknowledged that. Yeah. And so I think Draymond probably getting to know KD. Right. And being around him now on a regular basis before he came to Golden State. Right. Now you starting to see what kind of person he is. It's the same thing Russell Westbrook probably had a problem with. And so this is a clear indication of when you winning and you win the championships, egos will surface. And it happens every time. Yeah. You go back to the Rockets when they were going back to back with Hakeem Olajuwon. You go back to that Bulls team. You go to that Lakers team with Kobe and Shaq. When you start winning, somebody gonna surface and be like, I won't be that guy.
The only team I've seen that's
gonna happen.
The only time that I have not seen a team from that situation for its egos was I would say Spurs during that pop era, maybe in the early 2000s when they beat the Cavaliers, and I didn't really see it out of that basketball team. But that
when your best player like Tim Duncan, who is quiet and doesn't mind playing the backseat, let's be honest, Tim Duncan is the J. Cole of NBA basketball.
Right.
He's a quiet assassin. He don't care if he averaged 20 points a game versus if he averaged 8 points a game. Right. He just want to win. He want to win. He's all about the team. And Pop created that culture in San Antonio. Correct. That's rare in sports.
That's rare in sports.
That's rare in sports. You don't really see that too much. But that's a good point. But with the Golden State Warriors, man, Draymond Green is a prima donna.
Yeah.
Steph Curry is a prima donna. Klay Thompson is a prima donna. And KD is damn sure a goddamn prima donna. Yeah. So you got all them damn personalities clashing, man. Everybody thinking they the guy. Everybody you getting dick pulled here and there. This was going to happen. I'm not really surprised by it. I thought it would have happened sooner.
I would say this. To pick up what you're saying.
dick pulling going on.
Yeah. At some point in time, this was going to happen. I knew this. I knew it was going to be Draymond and Kevin Durant. I knew it. I felt it a long time ago. I was like, listen, them two are going to bump heads at some point in time. That's going to happen. People are like, what's going on? Draymond needs to apologize for nothing. Draymond Green is going to be Draymond Green. I keep telling you about Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's a superstar with a role-player mentality. This is what he is. At the end of the day, he went over here to be a role player, to be a superstar, but didn't want the accountability of being a superstar, but being in a winning situation. And now he has a championship, and everybody think he like that. Now, he's a great basketball player. I think he's the second best scorer in the game, and he's the top 5 shooter in the game. But at the end of the day, that's what he is. It's a superstar with a role-player mentality. And when he tried to come at Draymond Green was letting him know, you ain't committed to being here. You don't want to be here. You a whole bitch out here. He mumbling his words over there. Nah, listen, that's what that is.
Man, you're a whole out here.
And do I think Kevin Durant is gonna re-sign to Golden State Warriors? No, I think Kevin Durant is already out prior to this altercation happened. I think Kevin Durant is gonna be a New York Knick when it's all said and done. I think he'll go over to the Eastern Conference, and I think that's where he's gonna end up at. I think it has nothing to do with this altercation. At the end of the day, it will fuel this team at some point in time to get to that playoff and have a fight and have a grit, and hopefully they're healthy at that point in time. But here's the facts. Kevin Durant knew when he came in, this ain't his team. This is a Steph Curry-driven team. Injured or not, this team belongs to Steph Curry. And the second person up is Klay Thompson. This will never really be his team like that. Draymond Green is out there advocating Drake. Don't get it twisted. Draymond Green came out publicly and said he won't be Defensive Player of the Year. People don't understand why. Because he can apply for a Supermax with the Golden State Warriors, which I don't think he should. I think he's a heck of a basketball player, but I don't think Draymond Green scored enough points to get a Supermax deal. That's just with me. And you want to be a Supermax, at some point in time, you got to average 20 points a game. It is what it is. You can be all the defensive player MVPs you want.
Right.
But at some point in time, you got to affect the scoreboard on a bucket standpoint. You don't do that. So at the end of the day, but I think he's a certain glue that's necessary for that team. KD, I think he's going to be out. He averages 25 points a game. I think the Golden State Warriors need to realize that, listen, he was a 3-year rental. We're going to have a great time. We're going to offer him a deal that we want to keep him here. But the reality is the Golden State Warriors got 3 problems at the end of this year. They got to replace 40 points in scoring at the end of this year. People don't understand that. You got to replace 25 points in Kevin Durant. You got to find a way to replace 10 points in Andre Iguodala. And you got to find a way to replace 5 points in Sean Livingston. At some point in time, that needs to be addressed with this basketball team. Right? I know Sean Livingston and Andre Iguodala are 2 very good NBA players, but they're veterans, and at some point in time, you can't keep going postseason with these 2 guys being your 6th and your 7th man. They got to address that part. So as far as I'm concerned, you up Klay, you up Draymond, and you take the money that you don't pay KD, and you find you some other supporting cast. Because those 3 guys is going to be tough to replace. You got to figure out how to replace 40 points. This year is not going to be the issue. It's next year offseason going to be the issue with the Golden State Warriors. And that's why I say it was big important if you a team like Houston, got to get a guy like Jimmy Buckets. Because they're going to go through a transformation. You can't just keep these guys on the same NBA team for season to season to season to season. That's not the NBA. And Kevin Durant came out publicly and said, man, guys are getting paid. He said this publicly, guys are getting paid. I think I'm worth this kind of money. I'm thinking you don't think that Kevin Durant don't think he's worth what James Harden's getting or what Steph Curry's getting?
Kevin Durant it's clear what he's trying to do. He wants to be the highest paid player in the NBA.
In the NBA.
That's his
goal. That's his goal.
Right now. He wants to set the market and be like, look, I don't want to be paid as the highest paid player in the league. That's what he wants to do. And I'm not blaming him for that because he got 3 rings.
He'll have to, when the season's over with, I think he'll have 3 championships.
Yeah, I mean, after this season, they probably going to have 3 rings.
He probably have 3 rings.
I hope I'm wrong.
Me too.
But he probably going to have 3 rings. So he is trying to put himself in a situation to where now it's time for me to break the bank. Yeah. And now it's time for me to go play somewhere in a good market and put myself on another level business-wise.
Business-wise.
That's what he's trying to do, man. I mean, it's clear what he's trying to do. I mean, I wish he could find a barber or cut it all off and go bald. Because you got a bad green. The green is terrible. You don't get lined up. I don't know what's the problem with Kevin Durant. If you want your brain to get bigger, you need to get a haircut, babe. I mean, I don't understand. What's going on with you, baby?
Listen, you think he's Solomon Hill bad?
Him and Solomon Hill are running a race for how bad they green of hair is and how bad they do not and they refuse to get a line of injury.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's not that hard, man. You're making millions and millions of dollars. Go hire a barber and let him travel with you or something.
Get a Steve Harvey line?
Man, you got to do something. I mean, even though LeBron needs to go bald too. Even LeBron keep his stuff edged up and lined up. Okay? Yeah. Kevin Durant, you need to do the same. I mean, just make your brand look better. I don't know if you think that's the look. I don't know. But it's not good for your brand,
Keep a guy with you, dog.
Oh, man.
Keep a guy with
man,
you.
If I'm making that kind of money, man, I got a barber on deck. You're traveling with me. You're traveling with the team. Straight up. That's in my contract. Look, y'all won't sign me? My barber got to be with me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Let's go. If you go to New York with looking like that, man.
You're bad. You're bad.
Come on, man.
Keep
a hat on or something. Do-rag. See if you can get the Adam Silver to let you play with a do-rag in the game.
Or listen, Jacory Ross said he needs a bald head, and Orlando Trotter says exactly. Yeah. He listen, bro.
It's bad, though. It's bad.
He get them little BBs and the 5-7-year-old kids be having that don't brush their head when they come outside to go play. The little swirls in their fucking head. Listen, bro, you're a grown man, dog. You do financially well for yourself. Keep a brush with you. Keep a barber with you. I don't care if you're in the locker room.
He don't even brush it. He don't brush his hair. He refused to brush his hair. I just don't understand.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't. You get the little swirls in your head. I don't get it. Brush your head before the game. Listen, I know Golden State got enough resources around them to make sure down in that Bay Area they got a ball where they can keep you tight.
Yeah.
I know they do. They're building a new arena for crying out loud. I know they can find a ball to get you straight. You got to figure that out, man. Especially if you're thinking about leaving the organization, leaving the team. I read your lips on the sideline when you came back on the court. I read your lips. You said, that's why I'm out of here. I read your lips when you came back on the court. I saw you.
Especially with Steph being out, man.
Yeah.
Durant won that ball.
Yeah. Draymond like, screw you. You didn't resign him. Yeah. You playing a pity pat. You signed one of them LeBron deals. Yeah. One of those 1-year deals with a player option kind of deal. No. You don't want to be here. You think you like that. Maybe you are. But at the end of the day, you're not committed to this organization. Draymond Green said, I'm going to be here.
It's a pit stop.
Yeah. And that's it. And Jacob Ross said, I agree, G. And that's just what it is. That's just how it's going down. So I think it's going to bring these guys together at some point in time when Boogie come back. You know, they're going to have a real good team to play with. But next year is going to be the problem where the Golden State Warriors got to figure out. To me, like I said, you heard it here first. They're going to have to figure out how to replace 40 points. Kevin Durant, 25 points a game. You got to figure out how to replace that 10 in Andre Iguodala and that 5 in that Sean Livingston. 3 important ingredients for that team. If they can figure it out, they'll still be a good basketball team. If they don't, they're in trouble. Now, shifting gears. Let's talk about the Houston Rockets. Melo. He plays 10 games, G. He does a trade. The Oklahoma City Thunder trade Melo to the Hawks. Hawks buy him out. We don't want you to play a basketball game here. We don't want no influence over Trae Young. You get an offer from Miami, Houston, numerous teams. You end up signing with the Rockets. D'Antoni is there. You already know that. You come in here, you're playing basketball, you play 10 games, and the roles come to find out that Melo, you are not a fit. There's a conflict. Melo was cut today for people who don't know about the Houston Rockets. Only playing 10 games, not agreeing with the role of the team. It's your team, G. What's your case on Melo and the Houston Rockets?
I said it when we signed him. It was a bad decision. Melo, you have to realize that you're living in a fantasy world. That's what you're living in. You're not the same Melo of old when you was with the New York Knicks or with the Denver Nuggets. You're not the same. Give it up.
Give it up.
Understand that you're a role player now and that you're not a starter in this league. You need to embrace being a 6-man off the bench and then being some type of Jamal Crawford type of player.
Should have retired.
In this point in your career.
A lot of pro athletes saying you should retire.
If you can't handle that, you need to just go ahead and call it a career. Because what you did to this organization in Houston, you just infected them with a disease that I can't even explain what you've done to this organization. Because the road we was going down last year, and I'm not trying to just put it all on Melo, no, because a lot went into this, but Melo was a big problem. Because, you know, you could tell Chris Paul and James Harden were trying to cater to Melo and make him happy and make him comfortable. And I don't care what nobody say. And a couple of people in the media alluded to this. They said they felt like D'Antoni still was holding a grudge toward Melo for the stuff that happened in New York. You know, it ended bad in New York. With
it was bad.
It was so bad that D'Antoni was like, did you know what? I quit. Either he go or I go.
Right.
It was that bad.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, Melo has a type of personality. He is one of the biggest prima donnas in the league. Mm-hmm. And it almost gets to the point to where, you know, he will attack a coach.
Yeah.
He will really go at a coach and probably try to put the locker room against the coach. And now you got to divide the locker room because Chris Paul and him are tight. We know they're part of the Banana Boat crew. Mm-hmm. and all those things. You know James Harden, he gonna follow behind that.
Right.
He ain't gonna stand up for D'Antoni. That's what's going on, I think, in the locker room. And there's a lot of division going on. And I think it's the right thing for Darren Moore to do. Part ways with Miller, man. Get rid of him. Get rid of that cancer. We still have things that we need to work on as a team.
Yeah.
But getting rid of Melo is gonna solve a little part of that problem.
Okay.
Melo, the best thing you need to do, you need to go to a team that has no aspirations and winning. Go somewhere like Indiana. Go to the Kings. Go to the Magic.
Memphis.
Go somewhere like that where they don't have no real aspiration.
Orlando.
You can go do what the hell you want to do.
Orlando.
I said the Magic.
Yeah.
If you want to go put up 30 shots a game and shoot 30% from the field, go to them kind of teams because that's where you need to be. You don't need to be on nobody's roster where they have real aspirations on trying to compete for playoffs or trying to compete for an NBA championship.
Brooklyn. Go back to New York, baby.
Or to Brooklyn.
Go back to New York,
That's
baby.
the kind of place you need to be because at this point in your career, you have no business being in a starting lineup. You have no business being on a team that have championship aspirations. I'm sorry. Father Time has caught up with you. La. Sit him down. Sit him down. Have a heart-to-heart with him.
Heart with him?
And be real with him. It's over. It's done.
Listen.
Your best days are ahead of you. I mean, your best days are behind you.
I would agree with that. I did a video about Melo, and now listen, I think the problem that Melo is having the time of adjusting to the fact that Melo is used to being a guy. Melo came in the draft in 2003 historic class. Him, Bosh, Wade, LeBron, forget Darko, David West, a lot of guys, Kyle Cole was in that draft. A lot of guys came out of the 03 class. It's one of the best historic classes that people remember of recent, of that draft class. Melo still thinks that he's still that guy. Melo came in 03, been drafted to Denver, should have been a second overall pick to the Pistons, wasn't that guy. Go to Denver, has a very good career. He's the franchise guy the second he gets there. He goes there, he has a very good career there. He gets traded, wanted out of Denver, going to New York. Go to New York, he's still the guy. And everywhere he's been up to the past 3 years now, he has been the franchise caliber player. And what Melo has not understood or came to the agreement that he's not the guy anymore. But he thinks mentally that he plays the game the same way that he's played the game since he's a Denver Nugget. A spot-up shooter, get out in space, get out in transition. He plays mentally the same way.
Can't guard nobody.
But can't guard nobody.
Can't guard my damn son.
Right. But he can't guard nobody. And he's not understanding that the game has evolved in front of his eyes. He still thinks that, man, listen, I can still be what LeBron is. I can be maybe what Dwayne Wade is. He still think he could be that guy. Listen, bro, a lot of people in your same draft class have retired from the game of basketball. Or the game has retired them. One of the two. That's what it's come down to. And he has not realized that, listen, bro, when you are an iconic figure in pro sports, and people still remember you for what you do as an iconic figure. Like, if you're iconic, like, listen, man, you could still play at this game level as a role player. People still remember you. People remember Vince Carter as an iconic player. Like, okay, he dunked. He did a lot of great things. So when he's playing right now, it's like he's not the same guy, but people remember him for what he did. You're not iconic like that, Melo. I don't recall any Nuggets or Rockets teams making any championships. I don't recall any of your teams getting to this promised land or even beaten.
Now, I will say, I think he's still a Hall of Famer.
No, he's a Hall of Famer.
That's no question.
Listen,
he's a Hall of Famer.
Tracy McGrady made the Hall of Fame. Melo's a Hall of Fame.
Melo's one of the best scorers this game has seen.
Let Melo score over 25,000 points. He's a Hall of Fame.
Yeah, as far as winning. And helping your team propel to be a championship aspiration team. Hell no.
Let's not be disrespectful.
I never care for Melo.
No.
Never.
A guy, game anyway. Right. But a guy who can score 25 points, 1,000 points in an NBA career, that guy's a Hall of Famer to me. He's a Hall of Fame basketball player, hands down. I won't take nothing from Melo. But he's not iconic, if that makes sense. So when you see a guy like that caliber struggling now, bro, it's either you want people to remember you for being a starter that you were, because Allen Iverson was iconic. So when you saw him struggle in Detroit and in Memphis, you're like, man. But you still remember the AI from Philly. Like, man, listen, you know what? That role player, obviously, he could probably have a different role, and I can still love him the same way, but, man, if not, then he needs to call it quits. Melo has not understood that I'm a different role in the NBA now. Like Vince did. You see what I'm saying? He like Derrick Rose has done. Like, I'm a different role now. Melo still sees himself as, I'll play the game the same way. Listen, bro. If that's the way you want to play the game of basketball, this game has passed you up. This game has passed you up. You're not a 25-minute guy. You're not a 30-minute guy. At best, you're about a 10 or 15-minute guy. You're a pick and pop guy, and that's your role in today's NBA. If you dislike it, hang it up. Hang it up. I mean, that's just what it is. It doesn't matter if he's on the Brooklyn Nets. Melo can't play 30 minutes. Melo can't play 25 minutes. That's just not Carmelo Anthony. They're just, I know that hurts because you're still seeing guys that you came into the NBA with, like a LeBron, they still can play 35, 37, and still be a leader of a basketball team. I know that upsets you, but you're not LeBron. You know what I mean? Dwayne Wade can't even play 30 minutes a night. Dwayne Wade is
I mean, the bottom line is Melo is a one-trick pony. He's been a one-trick pony all his
whole career.
Either you gonna score or you gonna be bad, and that's what you do. You don't make your teammates better. You don't play defense. Yeah. You don't facilitate. You're not a good passer. You should rebound better than what you do. Your average rebounding at 6'8", 260.
Right.
You just
You're
was a one-trick pony. You're gonna score the ball and that's it, and you're gonna shoot it a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. So, man, call it a career, man. You know, if I was in the league, man, I would not keep embarrassing myself like that.
I would agree.
I would not, man. Hey, I got too much pride about myself. Sit down with him.
Have a conversation.
Talk with him, man.
Have a conversation.
Baby, Father Time has caught up with you. You can't score the ball like you used to. You don't move like you used to.
Yeah.
You came and guard our son. Call it a career, baby.
Call it a career.
Call it a career.
You reach a point where, listen, I think that I don't want people. I've seen a lot of fans on Twitter beating Melo up, and I've seen a lot of people beat Melo up. And yeah, he ain't this, he ain't this. Listen, you gotta understand, from a guy of that caliber, who he's used to seeing himself a certain way, give him a second. But reality is, he's a grown man. But listen, here's the deal, bro. You're 33 years old. You're a grown man. At some point in time, you got to come to the conclusion that if this is the road that you can't accept for you, then this has come to a close. This is over. You can't still believe that you are a 35-minute guy or 30-minute guy or that guy over there I know I'm better than. So guess what? You know, I'm like that. Melo.
I'm gonna tell you something else that's telling. You know, his agent has been reaching out to different teams trying to figure out who would want his services.
Right.
Nobody's interested.
Nobody.
The Pelicans came out, we're not interested.
We ain't interested.
The Lakers came out, we're not interested. A lot of different teams that came out, we're not interested.
Right.
So I think he will get on with somebody. Daryl Morey came out and said even though he's no longer going to be traveling with the team and playing on the roster, they're going to keep him on the roster. He's just not going to be in the lineup or nothing like that. So I think they're going to end up cutting him probably sometime, like really cutting him. Probably sometime next week or something like
he's
this.
He's going to be, at some point in time, I think he's going to be cut.
You know, Melo, I know this got to be very, very depressing. You know, in reality.
He still think he can play at the All-Star level.
Reality has to be hitting in, man. If you ain't humbled by now, I don't know what the hell to tell you.
He still think he's an All-Star kind of player.
You know what I'm saying?
Emmanuel says, I can't pronounce your last name. He said, man, y'all are crazy. Not true. Melo is still the man. What basketball you watching?
Hey, what's his name?
Emmanuel,
look. Emmanuel. Hey, you know, if you on drugs, you know, just let us know. Because if you think Melo's still the man, you got to be on some kind of meth, some kind of damn acid or something, shrooms. I don't know what you're on. But this boy is not the man.
He's not the man.
He has fell off. Father Time has definitely caught up with him. He has no business starting on an NBA roster that has aspirations on going to the playoffs or trying to compete for an NBA championship.
I can name you 3 players that's at Duke that should be starting more minutes than Carmelo Anthony right now in the NBA.
Yes.
And that's not being disrespectful to Carmelo Anthony, Hall of Fame player. I can name you 3 guys at Duke. That's college basketball. Listen, though. Listen. You talking about the Carmelo Anthony from Denver? By all means, I get it. The guy who first got traded to New York, I get it. But you talk about the last 3 years. Listen, Carmelo Anthony wasn't a guy that his last year in New York. That was a Porzingis team. That team transferred over. It was over with. This is Porzingis' team. We're gonna go where number 6 brings us. When he got traded out of New York into OKC, this is very clear. This is a Russell Westbrook / Paul George organization. Period, point blank. You're here to fit in where you get in. I can't think of the Thunder GM.
Sam Presti.
Sam Presti. Realized that we made a mistake. Melo wanted that $27 million. He wanted to opt in. I got to come off this money. Traded him to Atlanta. Atlanta said, man, we don't want you. We'll pay you to leave.
Yes.
We're going to pay you to leave. That's the Hawks. They bad. The Hawks ain't got nobody but Trae Young. I can't name you another person on the roster. That's how bad the Hawks is. I can't name you another person that not watch sports. I can't name you another guy. They don't want him. Paid him off. Melo had a choice of where he wanted to go. Melo was a free agent. And if it didn't work out where he chose to go, this is over. I'm sorry how you want to look at this. You got to understand that he chose to go in Houston. There wasn't like, oh, he was traded there.
Right.
This was a selection. He chose that. He could have went to Miami. Why he didn't go to Miami? Every other team around the NBA said, nah, I'm pretty sure we don't need a Carmelo Anthony. You got to see that. Emmanuel says, Melo's a top 5 small forward in the NBA.
Who said it?
Emmanuel.
Hey, producer, block him from the show. Block him from the show. Emmanuel, you have no business tuning into any kind of sports networks after the comments you made tonight.
He said, Carmelo is the best. He said, Carmelo has the best skill set in the NBA. What skill set are you watching? Listen,
what are you, 7? I just don't understand. But now, look, I will say this now. I will tell you what Carmelo is good at. He's good at making money.
Yeah.
Goddamn, boy. You done broke the bank in the league. I will give you that. You done got your money. You ain't hurting for nothing. Your kids gonna be paid for the rest of their life.
Now,
so I will say
Emmanuel says this. Name 4 small forwards better.
Why are we even wasting our time?
I'm about to name 5.
The Greek freak.
Giannis.
LeBron James. Kevin Durant.
Kawhi Leonard.
You want to keep going?
Paul George.
You want to keep going?
Jason Tatum.
I mean, I can keep going on and on.
I keep going on. I named you 6.
Come on, man. I mean, what the hell are you talking about?
6. I named you 6.
Abysmal. This is terrible. Come on, man.
He was name you what? Listen, bro, I can go deep on that question. I'll tell you right now, Harrison Barnes is better than Carmelo Anthony. And Harrison Barnes is not even an all-star. I didn't even want to mention Andrew Wiggins or, just.
This is true.
This is true. This is what it is. I mean, I named you 7, 8 NBA wings that are better than Carmelo Anthony. You get to stop.
Before we end the show, I will say this, man. We're in the second round of the playoffs for high school football. Can't wait. I will be covering Hornville versus Zachary and Hornville tomorrow night. I'm telling y'all right now, Andrew Roberson has been infectious over this team. They look like a whole different team than they was in the regular season. Them people went to Walker last Friday and beat them 35-9 on the road. Andrew Roberson was phenomenal. Jaquan Jackson is now coming on because now he has somebody to throw him the ball. He had over 100-yard receivers and 2 touchdowns. Andrew Roberson, I want to say he was 15 for 17 and 190 yards. Didn't even play the fourth quarter. Third quarter, he just handed the ball off the whole time.
Right.
Zachary going to get all they can handle tomorrow night down there at Hornville. It's going to be packed. It's going to be a semifinal type of atmosphere. This is a rematch of the 5A state championship.
Right.
Do not be surprised if Hornville upset these people and Andrew Roberson has a phenomenal day against that secondary. I know they got Tyler Judson and they got Caleb Jackson on the D-line, but I think Andrew Roberson is going to have his way. He's playing at a high level right now. I just don't see them people losing. The way their team is thriving right now, Coach Salk got them boys rolling. You know what he's capable of in the playoffs, winning a state championship in 2012 or 2013 with East Jeff beating that loaded and the car team, and then getting into the state championship last year against Zachary. I think you see this dude get it done tomorrow night, man. Watch out for Hornville, man. I think these people gonna pull it off and have a good chance to make a deep run in this playoff and try to get back to that dome.
Yeah, I gotta agree.
When you got a quarterback like Andrew Roberson,
it
changes things.
It changes things.
He like that.
He changes a lot of things.
He like that.
It changes a lot of things, as far as high school basketball. Now, he said
high school
football. That's gonna be a big deal. Like I said, 5A is gonna be a big deal. Yeah. You gotta listen. Yeah. When it comes down to the nitty gritty, 5A is gonna be a big deal. Now, before we end the show, I just want to, Emmanuel, I appreciate it. He said, listen, talk numbers. I love this show. I have to turn. I got to tune in more. He said, I love this show. I got to tune in more. But he said, talk numbers. Let's pull up the stats. Listen, you go pull up any of those guys' stats that I just named you, they all average more points than Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony averaging 13 points right now in the NBA. That's not a bad thing, but at the end of the day, that's because they had to feed Carmelo Anthony the ball. You got to think about the amount of attempts that Carmelo had. Listen, Harrison Barnes is a better player. Andrew Wiggins is a better player. I mean, if you putting Jimmy Butler at the wing,
Right.
then Jimmy Butler is a better player. I mean, Jason Tatum is a better player right now. I mean, we ain't talking about the top guys. I ain't even mentioned the Paul Georges, the Kawhi Leonards, the Kevin Durant, and the LeBron James of the world. That's 8x8, 9 wings in the league that's better than Carmelo Anthony. I mean, you got to be stopped. I mean, like Wingstop,
right.
You got to be stopped. Listen, I appreciate you tuning in. Like the page, add the page, but listen, you talking about the Denver Nuggets Melo. I'm talking about the Houston Rockets Melo. That Melo gotta, call it a day. He gotta call it, he gotta call it something. I mean, it is what it is. That Melo is not the guy. It is what it is.
You gotta stop.
You gotta be stopped. Listen. If I was out of Melo accept the Derrick Rose role in the NBA, or Melo gotta call it quits. You put your sneakers up and say, man, it was a great career. I made a bunch of money. I robbed a lot of people. I robbed New York out of some money. I robbed OKC out of some money. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. Nothing wrong with that. I got no problem. Hall of Famer. But we talking about right now currently in the NBA? Please. Please. There ain't a roster out there that's looking to go out here and say, man, look, I don't think Cleveland wanted.
Right.
And it's bad. But listen, that's our show, guys. Listen, tune in to FanView each and every Thursday. Listen, I think we got Thanksgiving coming up next week.
Yeah.
Saints play Atlanta. I don't know if we're gonna be in studio next week. I'll probably be out with our family, but I know for after that, I think GSportz, you gonna be in Dallas? I'm gonna be in Dallas.
Yeah. I'm gonna be in Dallas.
I'm gonna be in Dallas. I'm gonna be in Dallas the following week. My Saints are 2 primetime Thursdays, baby.
So we might not see you for the next 2 Thursdays.
Might not see you for the next 2 Thursdays. Thanksgiving coming up, and obviously I'm gonna be in Dallas. GSportz gonna be in Dallas. Listen, listen. I gotta be in Jerry World. I got to be in tune with what's going on there. But listen, y'all stay tuned with us. Obviously, we'll be posting a lot of videos, posting a lot of different things about sports going on again. Y'all trying to keep up with high school sports, football down here in the state of Louisiana. You got to go follow GSportz. It is what it is. I can't tell you a better plug. Now, if you don't want to take my advice, shame on you. Just shame on you. But listen, that's our show, guys. Listen, tune in, like the page, subscribe to the page, subscribe to us on YouTube, FanView Live, subscribe to us on Instagram at FanView NOLA. Don't forget to subscribe to New Orleans Talk Network on Twitter and Instagram at NOTN Talk. And don't subscribe to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. And don't forget to follow GSportz at GSportz.com and subscribe to this man page on Facebook and and YouTube. Gonna keep y'all updated.
You did.
You did. He says, appreciate it. Listen, man, look, good job, brother. I appreciate it. Who that? You're a Who that fan out there, you know what I mean? Now, he talking about he named 4 guys, LB, LeBron, Durant, and Leonard, and possibly George. See, you got to go. See, you're bad. I'm done with you. Hey, man, you just like the page. I appreciate your comments, man. But you're bad. You're on that Melo stuff. You're tripping. He getting cut for a reason.
Man, Melo done made $249 million since he's been in the NBA.
Melo robbing people. Melo robbed the league.
What's up, everybody? This is boy Coach Hurricane here. You can follow me on Facebook at Henry Singleton or on Twitter at HenryHayoU15.
Listen, this is your boy Fred. Listen, you can follow me on Facebook at Brandon Fred Jones, or you can follow me on Twitter at BFred Jones.
This is Jeremiah Gray, man, with GSportz. You can follow me on Facebook, Jeremiah Gray, A.K.A, and on Twitter, G_paid in full 08.
Pay me the money! money. Well, what's up, everybody? This is boy Coach Hurricane here. You can follow me on Facebook.